Hey guys, welcome to another episode of 4Player Animecast. It is episode 178, the 4th of September, officially starting to go into the fall. Obviously, we are also nearing the sort of quote unquote end, I guess, of the summer season. Although, as we have mentioned before, the issue with the summer season is that a lot of series are sort of cascading their releases, right? So we have a bunch of series that are in their current episode eights and nines and so on. But then there are other series that are in episode four and five, and then there are series that are just starting out, and it's it's a mess. This season is a mess. But anyways, this will be our last review episode of the summer 2021 season. After this, we are going to have a, a very delightful next episode with our round table discussion. Pretty rare to have. So instead of doing a review, then we go into their preview, and then after that, just falling straight into the autumn anime series. So uh, again, I am your host, Spire, and with me are my Patriots, Near,
Hi.
Toast.
Why, why are you skipping this episode's fire? I'm only on episode 9.
And Dark.
Hello.
All right, good to see that everybody is healthy and here, present. And we will start with our 2 weeks straight off, starting with, I guess, Dark. How have your past 2 weeks been?
Um, they've been okay, been full of Star Citizen, uh, and Apex.
Yeah,
Uh,
I've seen some of that. Yeah.
Apex is bad. Star Citizen's good. No. No, Apex has been fucking rough. It's kind of hellish. Some of
What's
the
going
shit
on there?
that that's been going on in that game. I mean, it's just like it's just fucking not good with some of the shit. Like, I don't know how to even put it. Like, it's like, they introduce Seer, and it's like, okay, here's here's a character that can just wall hack, and then after that, now they're like, okay, so we nerfed him, and then they like barely nerfed him. Granted, a lot of people stopped playing him, which is nice. But he's still just as fucking annoying and like nonsense. Because mechanically he's the same. Like he just wall hacks. And it blows. So, been trying to play like a bunch of different characters in that. Mixed success. And yeah, other than that, kind of been keeping up with a bunch of stuff, but with playing fucking Star Citizen like nonstop,
Yeah,
it's
you've
been
been pretty
something.
into that game.
Yeah, I got my joysticks, which were some of the most expensive ones I could get, but they have they have 32 buttons each, which is pretty awesome. It's a lot there's a lot to work with.
Okay.
But yeah, it's been pretty all right. Hit high admiral status, so
Nice.
look that up.
Okay, pretty good, pretty good. And you'll be covering your the series that you've watched pretty shortly. Next, Toast. What about you? How have your past 2 weeks been?
When was the last podcast?
It was the 21st of August.
Is that before or after debuts?
It was just
I
before
think it was
debut.
it was the day before because they delayed them.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm watching debuts. It's pretty cool.
Okay. I guess I
That's it. That was your 2 weeks.
he spent this entire 2 weeks going through the reviews.
I don't know. I've been watching one of them. One of them's pretty cool. Oh, I've been watching all of them, but one of them's pretty cool.
Okay. So I've been
She's
pretty busy with the new Hololive
she's
reviews.
okay, I guess.
Okay.
Oh,
Uh,
what else? What am I covering? I'm covering Kuro Inu 2.
yes.
Spoiler,
He
it's
Toast is covering all of the hentai.
it sucks. It's not Majin label, it's pink pineapple, and everyone knows pink
Yes.
pineapple sucks.
Yes.
You
Excellent.
you remember go what is it? Go Shudo, Go Fudo, whatever. What is it?
Gokushudo, the way of the house husband. Are you
You
talking
remember?
about,
Yeah,
or what are
it's
you?
like that. No, that that's
What?
all. That's all of Pink Pineapple's works in a nutshell.
Oh my god.
Like I believe they also did the Rants ones. Don't quote me on this because the art style kind of looks like the Rants ones, but even those are kind of iffy. Right near,
What?
right,
What?
right.
Sure.
Was it? Was it?
Whatever.
No.
Per.
Yeah, it was Pink Pineapple, and if you've seen the Rants one, it's kind of like that.
You're watching like the TQ of porn.
The TQ.
I guess.
That's
But
a hell of a name.
I mean, the Rants ones are kind of decent, but if you compare it to Majin Label, the original one that did it in 2013, is it 2013? Yeah, is it 2013? You would know.
For what?
The original Kuro Inu, 2013, right?
I, I,
2012. Wow, wow.
I
Okay.
don't know.
But yeah, if you've seen the original Kuro Inu, you know it's still a masterpiece of anime fiction.
Mm,
Still, even to this day, there's not many that can compete against how good the original. I want to say maybe three, 4 episodes were. 5 and 6 kind of sucked because the art style changed. But yeah,
Okay.
don't watch Kuro Into It sucks.
Just only watch the first one. Don't
Yeah,
watch the sequel.
seriously, just
It's
watch.
it kind of deteriorated.
There's first 6 has some good. It's good animation and good memes, but the second one's no, it's not good. I wonder
Anyways,
why they didn't. But I mean, if you want to compare it to something more recent, like the Asagi one, the recent Asagi one, you can it looks good, but you can kind of tell they reused some scenarios,
Yeah.
and it's like, oh, it looks good, but I've seen it in the previous one before. But I mean, I guess if you need a 3 minute breather, it's good enough. But you can just watch the previous one, and I'm talking about, is it Asagi 3? Is it Asagi 3? Yeah, Asagi 3. Asagi 3 is good. We all know 1 and 2. They're you'll remember Pixie Soft? I don't remember Pixie Soft.
No.
You know what Pixie Soft did?
What did they do?
Wait, they did. Oh, they did Ingrid. Okay, Ingrid's good. Never mind. Ingrid. They did Ingrid. But if you want to compare it to yeah, how is there such a difference between Asagi, like Pixie Soft's Asagi 1, and then you got the Ingrid one? Ingrid's good.
It's
Space
probably.
Pirates
I
is
probably
mean,
because Asagi 1 was a long ass time ago.
yeah. I was about to say they like even in the span of like 2 to 3 years, things can change a lot.
I don't know,
Yeah,
man.
like with Timon and Asagi 1 and 2, like Timon and
2007. Jesus
in
Christ.
the brand just like fucking like blew up in the Nuki scene. So like, obviously Asagi 1 isn't really gonna look all that, amazing. Because
Sagi 2 and 3 is good though. I'll say that.
yeah, because they got a shitload of money. Like,
And what else is good? Oh, Tentacle and Witches. That's a personal favorite of mine. Hell yeah. That's a good one.
God damn it,
Elf
Toast.
Space. Oh shit, Space Pirate Sarah. That's also a good one. I'll recommend that. Oh, I know why. That's the Ringcon Club's fault. That one. What else? What was I talking about?
Two
for 2
weeks.
Uh,
weeks.
dog got fat.
That's unfortunate. Does
And
he still
he's
like to go on walks?
yeah, he's 10 pounds fatter, but that's because he gets fed treats by like 6 people. So
He's much
he
loved. That's good.
gotta hold back on that.
Mhm. Okay. Pretty good. And then next up, I guess I'll just go over my 2 weeks real quickly. My 2 weeks have been pretty quiet. Again, mostly real. I don't know whether things in my real life right now are like speeding up or slowing down, but it's kind of like a transition stage right now. So kind of been weird. Maybe probably a little bit more on the hectic side. Um, Other than that, not too much. I kind of got into finishing up a couple of visual novels, some that are translated and that I could kind of stomach, except not really. I still hate a lot of times
Let
when
me
things are
ask you
being
this,
translated.
Fire.
Yes.
How are you feeling about the what why am I
Yes.
why you how are you thinking of the cool translations? How do you like
In which one?
MTL?
Oh, are you talking
You-
about the upcoming Tsukihime and Machine translation stuff?
Yeah, how do you feel about Tsukihime?
Well, then I'm going to the Tsukihime remake translation effort. In my opinion, the translation will happen a lot sooner than people
Isn't it
expect. In terms
is
of the quality of the translations, there's like negative guarantee. I'm just like nope.
but
Nope.
Spire, this is the wonders of modern civilization. What is it? They
That's true.
force inject code into your game and translate into English. That's how it works, right?
Yeah, that's
This is they don't have a script. They're just force translating it through Google or
yeah,
DeepL
they
or
just
something.
vaccinate. Yeah, they just vaccinate the visual novel and the data packet, the data files. That's how it works. But yeah,
So how is it?
I'm
I,
probably
I sure like I
I
sure like
I haven't looked at the Tsukihime remake translations yet, but I'm probably sure I will not be a big fan of. I uh, I will I will let Nier have the first taste of it, and judging from his reaction, I will then be
yeah,
like,
near.
yeah, I
How do you
probably won't.
how do you like Alcade instead of Arcade?
I'll quit.
It's Alcade, yeah.
No.
Nice, very cool. Thank you.
You like the
Uh,
teacher at least, near? I heard that teacher's pretty cool.
Uh-huh.
I heard she's in Melty Blood now.
I kind of
Instead of roast beef.
Yeah. The interesting thing about the Tsukihime remake, at least, I mean, it's obvious because it's the remake and Type Moon is very big now, but it's like they're very much just saying, okay, fuck it, we're just going to bring in all the people that and like I don't care like how much we have to spend. I mean, the visual novel is probably $1 million plus. Like I'm betting, right? Because it's like um usually visual novels, even a few years ago, right, cost around um $250,000, like US dollars. I don't mean yen. I mean legit $250,000 to anywhere to $1 million, right? So I'm betting that Tsukimi remake is probably $1 million plus, right? So
Since when did Type Moon have all that money? You remember what
yeah, where did the time
Yeah,
come
where did
up
that
with
come
all this
from?
money?
it
Yeah,
was? Didn't UFO Table have tax fraud? How did they get all this money? This is very
yeah,
suspicious to
yeah.
me.
Very. We have to investigate Type Move for tax fraud as well. But yeah, it really feels like this time, whether it's obviously with the graphics, but also with like the voice actors specifically, they're saying like, no, fuck it, we are putting in all the fucking money, all of the money. We're putting in all the money. Just do it. So it's an interesting time.
How
But
come
yeah,
they
we'll
replaced
see how
some
that goes.
voice actors then?
What?
How come they replaced some voice actors then if they had all the money? Sounds pretty sus
Well,
to me.
they replaced it with the bigger voice actors, or at least they're currently in the scene, right? For instance, again, like Haruka Tomatsu playing, Tomatsu Haruka playing Aozaki Aoko, obviously.
Who?
Um, Tomatsu Haruka, voice
Who?
of the voice of Asuna in Sword Art Online, sir. But
Oh, wasn't
as
Asuna
well.
her first role? Wow, she's come a long way
No,
since
I
then.
believe it was.
Her first
It,
major
m-
role? Wow, I can't
no.
believe she's coming far since then.
I hate you, Toast.
Wasn't I'm pretty sure that was
No,
her first major role. Yeah,
no, it
we
wasn't. It was. It was.
what
I wasn't Lala. It was. It wasn't it Ikaros. Wasn't it Ikaros? No, it was.
what?
It was Musubi. It was Musubi in Sekirei,
No one
right?
remembers Sekirei.
You're right, Tess. I
Yeah.
apologize.
I remember Sekirei because it also had Marina Inoue as the blonde haired tsundere chick, but
Right,
like no one remembers that.
Yeah. That's true.
Sek,
I keep thinking that the blonde haired tsundere was played by Hikasa Yoko because Hikasa Yoko always plays those sorts of roles. But you're right, yeah. But yeah, as I was saying,
are you comparing Musubi's role is the same as Asuna? I think you're wrong there, Bucko.
well, I wouldn't say that. That's I don't think that's what I'm saying.
You
But it's
trying
whatever
to
more.
disparage the name of Sword Art Online?
Yes, Spire. If Sword Art's so bad, how can Progressive bring
Daring
out?
to do that?
True.
And I'm looking
I
forward to
apologize.
Progressive.
I apologize, my friends. But yeah, not to have this drag on for too long, but sorry for the tangent. But the Tsukihime thing was it was an interesting reflection because it was pretty obvious that even with the voice actress replacements, it was like no, get out. We're just putting in all the A-listers, even like the new character Noelle, right? The church girl or whatever, or
The
the
teacher,
teacher. Yeah,
which has been hinted at for like 10 years. Wow.
yeah, that's being voiced by Kayano Ai again, A-list voice actress currently. They're just bringing in all the people. But yeah,
What
that
about
aside,
how
yeah.
you got any
We
good?
don't say that name here anymore.
Yeah, that's
Oh
true.
yeah,
Ever since she started worshiping the Japanese
Ever
nationalists,
since she started,
yeah,
ever since she became a fucking
an
imperialist pig.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And wait, Toast, what were you going to say? Sorry for interrupting.
give me some good R18 recommendations for your VNs. I know. Yeah.
I mean,
What are the good
I mean,
ones?
I mean, I don't know about
Obviously, Katao
recommendation.
Shoujo.
Yeah, just start off with that. Yeah, but the stuff I was going through recently was I went through Primal Heart 1. I don't know whether it's Primal Heart or Primal Hearts. Primal Hearts. One the first one that was pretty decent in my opinion, although it was pretty simple too.
What
Actually,
about
no, it was pretty simple, but I really liked each of the routes and the interactions.
you were talking about King Koi earlier, weren't you?
Yes, Kinkoi. Kiniro Golden Raburiche, I think is the full name, or also known as again as Toast as Kinkoi. I like that one. It was, or so I think I said like the sprites were okay, or maybe could have used a couple more like expressions, like one or two more expressions. The SD slash like the general scenes were pretty good. There was a lot of them. The voice acting was good. The routes were relatively mediocre, and the dialogue was pretty mediocre. There was just a lot of filler that didn't really add up to character development. But I like the character setups in themselves and sort of how the characters ended up um kind of developing, I would say. I really liked, but it's like I didn't like how the reason why I say the characters are good, but then the routes aren't good, is that the routes themselves are kind of just like, yeah, it was like the very much like Clonut syndrome, where it was just like, yeah, you sat down, ate a lunch today. Okay, tomorrow you sat down and ate a lunch. The day after that, you sat down also ate lunch, and it was like, "Ugh, can we not do this? Come on.
I don't remember that in Clonette. I remember that in freaking Fate though.
It's not in every route, but it's
you always have to make the breakfast every day, no matter what in Fate.
you know the Fujibayashi twins route, right? The Kyo and Real routes.
Who's your
They
favorite?
have.
Who do you like better?
I always pick the Kyo route. Not gonna lie.
Liar.
What? Come on! I even
Liar.
watched the special OVA for Kyo. That's how much I liked it.
Kyo's my pick. How dare you?
We have to fight now, but yeah. The Fujibayashi routes both had like billion fucking bento scenes in the visual novel, not in the anime. But yeah, that's pretty much what I've been going through. I like the fan disc a decent amount more than the original for Kinkoi, but for some reason, and I talked to Nier about this, right? And I think I mentioned you, right? And the inverse. So longtime viewers of the podcast will know this, but when I said the inverse law, I have this theory. The inverse theory of save slots, visual novel save slots, and it states that the shorter and like less relevant a visual novel is, uh, or more ghetto, the more save slots it will have, right? Relative to like what you actually like need, or like even just in general, right? So it's like you can have a huge RPG, Kamidori, stuff like that. You need to save at every turn or before every battle, and it'll have like 50 to 100 save slots, and you're like, come on, bro. You can't do this to me. Like, give me a little bit more than that. And then you'll have, for instance, this Kinkoi fan disc, right? It's a freaking fan disc, and most of it's literally just like, okay, select the route. There's not even choice, like legit choices. You pick the route. You're like, I want to go to this girl's route, and you just play the story. That's it. And that thing has literally 1,000 save slots. It has 100 by 10, 1,000 save slots. And I'm like, in what universe would I need 1,000 save slots for this?
Maybe it's not 1,000 CG, Spire. How would you know?
That shit. I just need to save every other line. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
I know.
But,
I know. My Fate save slot has like 35 of them. I saved them at special points. Hell
I
yeah.
always save at special scenes or like CGs, yeah, when scenes like transition. But yeah, that has always borne fruit. I want to maybe get into Amakano soon, but I have to think about it. But yeah, that's pretty much been my week. Sorry for the
What?
tangent.
Let me ask you one more thing,
Yes.
Spire. Do you consider RPG Maker games a suitable vessel for VNs?
Only
What
if
I
they're
will
on Steam.
Well, they are on
no,
Steam,
Steam
yeah.
Greenlight, Steam Greenlight.
No, yeah,
Sorry.
they have
Well,
to
not-
be. Steve, is that even a fucking thing anymore?
I don't even
Oh,
know. I might
it's,
just be an old
it's
man.
gone. It's
Oh,
gone. You just
I'm an old man. Sorry.
pretty sure to get your game on Steam now, you just pay Valve, and they're like, okay.
you pay Gavin.
Damn.
You have to slap him with the money.
Someone had to pay to put fucking the pussy collection on Steam,
Yes.
'Cause,
which you still haven't played, by the way.
I wonder why not.
Because it
Uh,
Spire.
Guy,
the
because
one-
you're ungrateful and you hate my gifts.
Spire, why haven't you played Samurai Vandalism yet? It has 3 routes and 10 endings. I believe that's the same. I
I'm not
believe
necessarily a fan of more endings.
3. I know the
Whatever.
3. Yeah, no, 3 routes and 4
Honestly,
endings.
my philosophy in visual novel is kind of like you guys all know Seitokai Seitokai no Ichizon, right? Except maybe Dark, but Nier and Toshi definitely both know Seitokai no Ichizon, right? So you know how the main character in Seitokai no Ichizon is kind of like, and like this is actually like part of the plot for some reason, like part of the character development. It's like he doesn't like bad endings. Like he wants everybody to be happy, right? And that's why he keeps being like, I'm aiming for the harem ending, right? Not because he likes all the girls necessarily. I mean, he does like all the girls, but it's more just like he doesn't want anybody to be sad, right? So I'm kind of like that. Like I hate bad endings. I do not touch, like, if like I will 100. I can easily 100% a visual novel if it has all good endings. But even if there's like one bad ending, I don't touch it. Like I hate bad endings.
Define bad
so
ending.
much.
Like NTR or like what?
No, like any ending that's like considered essentially like the standard like bad
Any
route,
ending
right?
that's
Like
the
you don't
girl
go
that
out with
I
any.
don't like.
You mean like-
yeah. Fuck this other girl. You know,
You mean-
I mean,
you mean like-
you know how it's
you
like specific or like standard bad endings, right?
You mean
Like,
like
you don't
dead?
go out with
You
any of
mean
the
like
girls.
dead endings in Fate? What
Yeah,
about
yeah, yeah.
what about the Kenji route, huh? In Tower Shoujo, is that a bad
Yeah,
ending to you?
that's also a bad ending, right?
Don't you
'Cause
fall off
you
a
fall off.
building?
You fall off the
Yeah,
roof. Yeah, you
yes.
fall off the roof.
You
get
fall off the
literally-
building
you
and
literally
die?
have a heart attack. You fall off a roof and die. Like,
Yeah, exactly.
So basically, what you're saying is all the Taiga Dojo, all the routes that lead you to the Taiga Dojo in Fate, huh? Because those are you can call those bad endings. There's like what near 27? I want to say 27, 20 something.
I think there's a bit more than that. Isn't there like
Really?
I don't
40?
necessarily like
Isn't there like
the
40
thing.
fucking patterns?
Okay, maybe.
I,
I don't know.
I should be a little bit careful, but because it's like you know how there are sometimes like endings where it's like kind of like joke bad endings where it's like oh you get one thing wrong and by mistake and they're like boom the bomb blew up goodbye and it's like it suddenly just ends after like the next line, right? Like those I don't consider
Yeah,
bad
like the
because they're
teaching
just like
feeling
yeah.
sandwich.
Because it's just like hey fuck we're just adding some like kind of almost like an Easter egg in, right? But like actual bad endings, like I don't go out with a girl or like I went on this route, but then she dumped me or something like that. Like stuff like that. I really detest. I hate going on bad endings so much. Like I'm actually afraid. Like I
Near,
legit.
near,
Yeah.
near. I bet this guy hates Sparks Liner High.
Yeah.
Do you hate it, Near or Spire?
Well, I don't know. I
You
haven't
don't
heard.
know Sparks Liner High?
You probably have
Yikes!
to link me that.
Yikes! Fake fan! Fake fan!
Wow.
Fake fan! Fake
Fake
fan!
man. But yeah, Spire. I just brought this up because Samurai Vandalism is by the same guys who made what is it? Ideology and Friction, and that's on Steam. Good.
Oh, okay,
Are they
okay.
also the ones that made what is it? What is it? Bitch Police. That's a classic.
Yeah, a classic. I agree with you. Anyways, I apologize. I
Timeless
apologize
classic.
to. I apologize to everyone for
It's up there.
going off
It's
the
like, you know, you have
Check it out on check it out on
Jurassic
Steam.
Park.
Samurai Vandalism.
And
Schindler's
right below
List.
that.
Schindler's List.
Citizen
But yeah,
Kane.
Schindler's List.
Fiddler
Bitch
on the
Police.
Roof.
Actually,
Bitch
I
Police.
feel like Bitch Police might be above Schindler's List. We're gonna have to really fucking toss a coin on that one.
But yeah, that's pretty much been my stuff. Trying to roar through VNs. Maybe I'll go through. Actually, I want to go through some August stuff, but maybe I'll go through. Oh no, Machikoi did the Wagahime right in March. I need to go through that maybe. But yeah, anyways, there's been a lot on my plate
Spire,
as
you
usual.
should check out some Western VNs sometime. I don't see you advocating any
Yeah, like
Korean-based
Doki
VNs either.
Doki Literature Club. Ever
Yeah,
heard of
The
it, pal?
Like,
They just
the
came
thing is,
out
Lemmy
with
Play.
DLC.
Yeah.
I don't want to comment because I don't want to sound too disparaging because I've always been like, it's not necessarily the platform. It's not necessarily the vehicle, right? It's not like having anime doesn't like being like, oh, this anime doesn't automatically make it, like wow, anime girls out the wazoo. It doesn't necessarily mean that. So I don't want to be disparaging Western VNs for being Western or being initially written in English. But what I will say is that a lot of what I've seen so far is not encouraging. So I'll just leave it at that.
Dang, this guy
Okay,
thinks
bigot.
that Dream Daddy isn't encouraging. Okay, buddy. Okay, pal.
Rapus just said, wait, I thought Wagahime wasn't translated. I know, it's not translated. I'm going to read it raw. Sir, come on. Like, I can't be out here
I
like
can
I don't
speak.
trust that. I don't
I
trust him.
feel like I could speak Japanese decently and like translate for Japanese decently and be like, by the way, I can't read this visual novel. Like that'd be a little bit like suspicious, right?
I'm
Fuck, I
I
forgot to
only
translate.
know it verbally.
But I'm secretly doing MTL using my code injecting skills. But anyways, I apologize, Nier, for dragging it on for so long. Nier, last but not least, how have your 2 weeks been?
You know, I got
How
back into Shadowverse. So that was, a mistake.
Are you trying to get to Grandmasters like a week before it ends or something?
No.
Okay.
I don't like this expansion very much. It's not very fun. But some of the it's Shadowverse. I'm pretty much always gonna be playing it. But like right now I'm kinda just grinding shit out for the battle pass. Because the leader that's in the battle pass right now is one that I like quite a bit. He's kinda cool. But yeah, I'm just grinding out levels there. so that way when I buy it, it's like better. It says, I get more out of it. But yeah, the expansion and the current like rotation meta right now in Shadowverse kind of just sucks. It's kind of lame. Um, other than that, uh, not too much. You know, keeping up with all my gacha shit. Although I did break my FGO login streak. So that kind of sucks. But other than that,
How near? How's your health care?
um,
All of a sudden, this is a very sudden question.
fine. Why?
Are
I
you
was
not? Are
thinking
you
about
not
moving
taking?
up.
Are you, how's your? You're not taking the. You're not taking the horse meds, right?
No, I am not.
Eating all the dewormers.
Why
Contrary to
not?
popular belief, I am not a horse.
Wait.
Oh, you
Spire,
But
think you're
how will
better
you
than
fend
us?
off COVID? How will you fend off COVID if you're not a horse? What the fuck?
I don't know.
Then
I
it-
don't know.
Hold on. Then again, Spire, isn't that your neck of the woods actually?
Well, for what?
Being a horse.
Or, yeah, expert in horse.
You're to the east of me, right? That's where it lies
Being a horse?
in Ohio, right?
Wait, I don't know what this.
No.
You're in Ohio, right? That's
Yes,
where.
yes.
Well, isn't that where they're taking their horse meds?
Oh, you mean like initially where all this like
Are you
shit like
okay,
randomly started
Spire?
from? I don't know where it actually started from, but I wouldn't be surprised if people around here are taking the
Spire's
horse
gonna
dewormer,
get
to be
really
honest.
into Uma Musume.
Yeah.
I mean,
I could-
who do he does like that one silver haired one that kicks you in the face.
True.
I mean, okay. So let me clarify my
You
position
were
on
posting a
Gold
lot about gold ship.
Ship. I personally I tweeted all of those actually, but the what I mentioned why Post brings it up and what I mentioned is that obviously people post Gold Ship the character from Uma Musume and also the name of a real horse from which the character is based on a lot because she's pretty much the face of Uma Musume, honestly, right? Kind of like how you probably say that Shimakaze would be for like Conclave, for example, right? Still, but
No.
I don't know what that series is.
sure. You Azure like China
There's
boats is the only
only
thing.
there's only
Azure-
Azure Lane.
Yes,
So, yeah.
that's true. I
That
apologize.
sounds like something that's landlocked in Japan, Spire. I don't know where you
Yeah,
live,
that's
but we
true.
live in the U.S. and
Yeah,
Canada. But yeah,
but
I like Die with Scarlet. I don't know who this gold ship is.
Daiwa's Girl is relatively popular too. But like what I mentioned was that like in terms of like how much like tweets and art and like relevant stuff that
Not allowed to make that
the
anymore, actually. That's outlawed, so.
that's true. They will hunt you down. But in terms of like characters like being like relatively popular to each other, I've never seen one franchise get focused so much on one character like Ghost Ship in like the modern era. Like maybe if we had to compare like a previous era, like the closest we'd have would be like Pikachu and like Pokemon, right? But I've never seen like just
Old
like everybody
words.
on Japan, Japan is just like Uma Musume is like in terms of like Twitter community, in terms of like the brand, like kind of like seeing stuff, 80-90% of it is like gold chip. Like let's be very honest with ourselves here. So
So
it's
what you're
kind of it was
saying?
kind of amazing. I don't know how I feel about it, but it's pretty amazing.
So you're saying she's the Gaogura of Uma Musume?
You can make that comparison
Shut
perhaps.
up.
But but yeah, that's just what I want to say about it. Sorry. Keep going. What are you talking about? Before the whole horse dewormers thing came up.
I don't fucking know.
So you said you're kind of weaning off Shadowverse. Anything else?
I picked up Death Stranding.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah, that was $20 on sale. So I figured, why not? I'll buy a ticket to Kojima's Wild Ride, and I played. How long was I playing? I think like 3-4 hours, something like
Yeah,
that.
somewhere around there.
And I got through the first I got through the prologue, and I think I got through chapter 1 and a good ways into chapter 2. And it's I kind of want to say it's probably some of the worst dialogue I've ever listened to.
What do you mean?
Did you
Yeah,
find Conan yet?
no, did not. But so the intro is it's literally all just so the main character's name is Sam Porter Bridges, right? And he's a courier. Get it? Like he transports things, right?
Oh,
Like the movie?
Yeah, get
Like
it?
the movie
Oh
Transporter?
my
And
fucking
so-
god!
Sam
What's wrong with
Delivery Connections,
so-
man.
So he's a courier, and he delivers stuff in this
Okay.
wasteland that is formerly America.
in this wasteland? Isn't
That
this
is
essentially?
reality.
Yeah, it's basically reality, but also
Isn't that
in
also
Death
Death
Stranding.
Stranding?
Yeah, in Death Stranding, America has been I guess it got exploded or something, and then this weird they call it the time fall, right? And it's
So
this rain.
just really
It's this
quick, you
rain that comes
haven't
down.
gotten to the explanation of how it happened, right?
No,
By the way,
I,
Okay.
not.
by the way,
Because
Can I-
how
can-
it
can I just
happened is
interrupt?
really, really funny.
I'm sure it is.
Can I just interrupt?
Is it
The
topical?
reason the reason
Not really.
so for a second I kept thinking Nier was talking about a game that was not Death Stranding. It was some other game that Kojima made because he was talking about a random dude like Sam Bridges or whatever, right? And the reason why I thought Sam Bridges was new guy was because everybody fucking refers to this guy as Norman Reedus.
Yeah,
So I
yeah. So,
apologize.
Norman
Go ahead.
Reedus is Sam Porter Bridges, right? And he
Yeah,
loves
yeah.
Monster Energy drink, and he's a courier. And so basically the first thing you do is outside of some minor yeah, deliver this package to this place, dude. But basically the first big thing you do is you have to deliver the president's body to a crematorium.
Nice.
Because the president is dead. But also nobody's allowed to know the president is dead because if people knew the president was dead, then America would be finished. But anyway, the president's dead, and then after you burn the president's body, you got to dodge a bunch of ghosts. And then the president's daughter becomes the president because that's how that works, right?
Nice.
The presidency is a monarchy.
It kind of does, though. It's like if the president dies, and then the vice president, and then all those
The vice
people.
president
That's
is not
true,
the
but-
president's son.
Yeah, but what if
What
we
if?
don't have a cabinet or a speaker or vice president or any other government
yeah,
official?
Then you can go to the
the
Think
first
about
lady.
it.
Yeah.
So I do want to say that I don't want to rag on I didn't want to rag on Toast because we have had a almost a Kennedy a monarchy, not like a Kennedy. What do they call it when they say the Bush dynasty? Sorry,
Oligarchy?
the Kennedy
the
dynasty.
dynasty.
We almost had a Kennedy dynasty. We had a Bush dynasty, and we almost had a Clinton dynasty. So I don't want to be too down on Toast idea, but keep going. Sorry.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
Kennedy dynasty kind of
Yeah, it kind of failed.
yeah. But anyway, so yeah, the president's daughter is the president, but also she's in captivity on the
Uh-huh.
East Coast, right? And she's projecting herself uh via holograms to speak to you, to
Wait,
you.
Kojima predictive VTubers? What the
Yes.
Now, everyone is a hologram now
COVID.
because
Yeah.
no one
He
wants to leave
predict-
their house
Yeah,
because of the time fall.
He predicted VTubers in COVID. What the fuck?
Yeah,
Why do you think we have a
truly a
fractured?
visionary.
Yeah. What do you think the fractured nation is about? It's about
But
a
yeah,
virus.
so the
Yeah.
mission you get from the new president is to uh build bridges and link America. Get it? Because his name is Sam
Yes.
Porter Bridges. He
Thank
builds
you.
bridges and he transports things. But yeah, so that's basically all of the dialogue. It's like,
Hmm.
But
Sam, you need to connect. Human beings are social animals. They can't be isolated. We have to connect America. America's connected, Sam. It's like, oh my god, shut the fuck
I
up.
already maxed out my social. Like, what do you want me to do?
Yeah, it's like
This
it's definitely some of like it's like a beating a dead horse into like the opposite ends of the earth.
well,
Like
yeah, it's like beating a dead horse, and then you need to drag the dead horse's body to an incinerator before it fucking nukes the city. So,
yeah, it's fucking insane. But walking around is fun in the game, so I'll keep playing.
yeah, have you mastered the ladder trick to cross rivers?
No,
I will say, it it has really cool ideas.
I mean it has a charm to it. I think it's not intentional. Because like pretty much all of it really feels like Kojima's definitely sniffing his own farts. And all of this dialogue is like it's super serious and it's not meant to be like you know tongue in cheek or anything. It's just kind of like I don't know. It feels like Kojima like discovered like the English word. Like
Wait, I
he
just
discovered like synonyms, and he was like, "Yes, like I can write a script with this." It's like, no, you can't. Um, but yeah,
what if what if Hideo Kojima and Gen Urobuchi work together? I
Jesus
just
fucking Christ, dude.
I
Like
think Gear's head would explode.
I think
This first episode.
I think like it. I think it wouldn't even need to come out for me to just like have a
You
stroke. Like
Yeah, exactly.
it would just get
You just need the
announced.
trailer. Yeah, you just need the
Yeah,
trailer, and you're like, no, I can't watch more than 15
yeah. Like
seconds of
I'm
this.
I'm done. I'm done. But uh, but yeah,
Okay.
that was my 2 weeks.
Okay. Pretty good. Thank you, Nier, for your 2 weeks. And again, apologies for the slightly extended intro. And without further ado, we will start with Dark. What do you have for us today?
Oh, baby. I mean, this will probably be pretty fast. And not for bad reasons. I have Meikyuu Black Company, the Dungeon of Black Company, as some call it.
So,
Um,
okay.
I
It is
I would
Silverlink,
hope I
right?
would not. Yeah. So it's Silverlink, licensed by Funimation. No, for those guys.
That's the important part. Yeah, that's the important part,
Um,
by the way.
but yeah, so this is a series about it's an isekai, and it's about a NEET that,
Wow.
funnily enough, doesn't reincarnate in a world. Um,
Just
he
like me.
gets dragged into another world at the height of his life. Because even though he's a NEET, what he did was I forget what he said he did. He did some sketch shit, like took out loans or something, and then did like day trading with that. Made a bunch of
Black
money.
market.
Yeah, made a bunch of money after day trading, invested in overseas real estate, all to not actually have to work a day in his life. And
God
then
damn
just
it.
basically started a major real estate company and has like a penthouse. Uh, yeah, post put in chat, unironic Bitcoin millionaire. Basically, and then at the height of that, as soon as he's about to finally be done, he gets dragged to another world where he gets essentially thrown into the blender as just a company grunt for a mining company that mines out the ores of cleared out dungeons in a fantasy world. And that's kind of where it starts. He meets his fellow workers. It is very much a tongue-in-cheek, like, try to imitate like the worst like slave driving workforce companies known to man. And just kind of like thematically like do that in a fantasy world. So he meets a dragon, and basically the basic premise is he uses his like, I don't know if you'd say like charm, it's like charisma and like manipulation, to essentially try and work his way up through this company to eventually just be able to take it over and just be more like efficient. But then like essentially what he does is he creates a what he's calling like the Meikyuu Black Company, which is like a company in the dungeon that he started of monsters that he's essentially convinced to be on his side one way or another. And so like at one point he convinces like this army of ant monsters and their queen to have like what would you call it, like humane work conditions or something, where it's like, yeah, you work 8 hours a day, 5 days a week. And yeah, so it's just
like
a lot of like
labor laws
like
and stuff like
yeah.
that.
So it is a lot of stuff like that. And
Actually, really cool, honestly.
Yeah, it's very it's got a lot of slapstick. It's very like tongue-in-cheek type stuff. There's
how's the audio visuals? Because like the cover art looks good for the most part, but some of the stuff I've seen in terms of like screen caps are a little bit sketchy. So
how do I put this? It's I mean, like, it's not like some of it can be really good.
okay.
I would say the actual overall style of the show in a lot of ways is pretty fun. It's pretty cool. A lot of the shading in certain parts is really good. Especially when they're using it for like jokes.
Can you compare it to Sentoin Hakenshimasu? The combatants will be dispatched. Can you compare it to that, for instance?
I mean, it's a million times better. It's basically
okay.
it's basically like if you took that show, but you actually executed on it properly.
Did stuff. Yeah.
I would compare this honestly to, oh my god, why can't I think of it? Wow, I'm just drawing a complete fucking blank. Hold on, let me look at my figure. Konosuba, there you go.
Konosuba,
That's
wow,
what it's called.
okay.
Yeah, I would compare it to that.
Okay.
In a lot of ways. In the sense of, I mean, I think the audio visuals overall are way better than Konosuba's, at least season 1.
Okay.
So I think that's a plus. I would say
was Dean, wasn't it?
Yeah. So like,
right,
it's not a huge bar, but you know what I mean. Like the audio visuals are more than getting the job done for what the show is doing. And the humor is similar in a lot of ways, where you have a protagonist who is more or less comes off as like a fucking like sleazeball and piece of shit, but in the end, like what he's working towards and doing is sort of like a noble goal, in a way. He does do some wild shit in the like episode 2 or something where he does like mind control of all the miners. But that is very much a I don't know, to me that seemed more of like a, what would you call it? It was a comedy bit of, where he slave drives them to the point of breaking, and the magic staff he used that he happened upon runs out of mana and they beat the shit out of him. So there's, and that does drive forward like sort of the plot too.
Right.
With him and like his groupies essentially working their ways up. So the main three is it's Kinji, the main protagonist, when you know Kinji, and then Wanibe, which is the lizard man, which is voiced by Shimonohiro,
Oh,
which
okay. No,
is
I saw
very
some of
good.
this. Yeah. It has a
Uh,
pretty solid cast for this part.
yeah, and then Rimu, who's a dragon that turns into a lolly, that he essentially hires on by just tempting her with food. And then,
Mhm.
it's the bit of she eats through essentially all of the funds he makes by using her to be able to venture through the dungeon
Yeah,
deeper and deeper.
she's also voiced
But who's,
by the way,
Misaki Kuno,
she
who's
she
the voice actress for Elf9 from
she
Symphogear.
did yeah, and she did a bunch of she generally like in Japan, like essentially, I don't know whether it's just for fans, but it's like the voice actress, like Seiyu otaku community, kind of is like she is like the pro kindergarten voice, like person essentially. She's done a lot of those like very like cutesy lolly kind of voices. She does if anybody knows like Idol Master Cinderella Girl, she does Nina, which was like the token like elementary school girl essentially. Like she does a lot of those roles. But yeah. Anyways, keep going.
Yeah, I think she was also. Oh yeah, that's right. She was also uh Pet Ups 2 from
Mhm.
Godzilla Singular Point. So yeah, she does. Oh yeah, that's right. She was in Non Unbury season 3.
Yep,
Anyway,
yep,
uh, basically does all lolly roles and
yes,
excels at them.
yes.
Um,
Professional
so
kindergartner is they
so yeah, you
say.
have that. Then you have like a hero, the hero that joins up, who's like the hero of legend, and she's like a workhorse who's like, is there anything greater? Is there anything better in life than working for the company?
Oh, that sort of yeah.
Yeah, and they do run a bit of, her first interaction with the main character is they're in a shop, and she's like, "Yeah, look at all these great weapons we can buy to go adventuring, to go deeper into the dungeon, kill monsters, bring back stuff, make more money." The main character is like, okay, but these are all weapons that are made with the ore that we mined, and they're being sold back to us from the company we work for. Um, and so there's a lot of shit like that goes on with it. It is
Mhm.
very much not a series that is meant to sort of have like a really strong world building, because like
It's very
the heads of the
episodic, right?
yeah. I mean, it is continuing through. It has like its
Mhm.
episodic goals. As far as worlds go, though, it's like a very much a sort of just like a scatter shot of shit where you have like the fantasy stuff, and then you have the stuff around the mines and the mining town, but then you straight up have like just regular offices for like the heads of the company.
Mhm.
Um, and so it is very much, they just kind of use whatever the hell they want, I guess, to achieve their
Right,
goal,
right.
which is fine for this series. Because I think overall the parallels and the jokes have been landing pretty good. And just like the episodes, their pacing and stuff has been just honestly great so far. And I think this has been a very, very good series.
Okay. Any last? I guess you already kind of put it, but any other words that you want to uh have on this series again? Black Company.
I think the delivery from the voice cast has been really good. Um,
No.
there's been a lot of bits that have been, with their delivery of the voice actors has really hit. very well.
Right, right.
Um,
It's kind of like how Uramichi Onisan was too, right? With the voice actors kind of being like boom, 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 boom.
yeah. So I don't know. It's weird. I like it significantly more than I expected I would. You know,
You thought it would be a
it,
lot more ghetto,
well,
is
yeah.
the
I mean,
thing.
it falls into the same category. I feel like as Konosuba did, where when Konosuba was first coming out, I was like, okay, like what is this going to be? And then I wasn't sure how much I'd like it, and then just kind of like from the get go, it just really nails it with having these characters that like are all sort of like fun in their own ways, or like they're kind of like they fit into their role perfectly, and you know what they're there to do, and they do it, and it's not essentially overstepping itself or really overdoing anything. It's doing exactly what it wants to do. So
Right, right.
I can both respect that and enjoy.
Okay. Pretty good, pretty good. Again, it's a delight that at least this one ended up being, you know, a worthwhile series to watch. Unlike again the last one that was sort of similar, something like again Sento and Hakenshima's
Yeah,
Combatants
I
Will Be
mean,
Dispatched.
you know, for
You
let's
know,
put it this way, I watched I think 6 episodes of this before we started the podcast today.
and you
And just
actually
went
didn't want to
through
kill
'em.
yourself.
Yeah, no, I went through them all. I loved them. I had a really fun time watching them. Whereas compared to fucking Combatants, I couldn't make it through. I made it through, I think, 5 minutes of an episode and messaged Spire and said, can I not do this? Like, I really
Yeah,
don't
yeah, no, I
want to
remember
continue
that.
doing this. Like, because it was horrendous from the get go. Um, but this one's really fun.
Okay. Again, pretty good. That again, a good surprise. Always good. Rather than having the inverse, which happens way more often than it should, which is like interesting premise, but then it kind of falls flat on its face. But yeah, this was Meikyuu Black Company, or The Dungeon of Black Company, I believe is the localization title for it. It is a Silver Link Studio anime original, I believe, right? Is it an adaptation?
No, it's a manga adaptation.
Okay, so it's a manga original anime adaptation. So if you are interested in this sort of stuff, please do check it out. And with that, we are moving on to Nier. What do you have for us today?
So I watched Sonny Boy. Um,
Sunny Boy, one of the series that I always, one of the series that I'm stuck for the Noitamina block series because I'm bad at figuring which series
yeah.
is Noitamina like every
It's called
season.
Sonny Boy. How come there are 2 girls I'm seeing right here already? Care to explain, buddy?
Yeah.
It's like with Little Women or Little, what is it? Wasn't there a sequel to Little Women, right? Was it called Little Men? I forget. But it's like with Little Women. It's like, how come there are men in this fucking book?
Yeah,
Yeah.
why are there men in this book? It's supposed to be about tiny women.
Yeah. I know. Anyways, keep going here.
But yeah. So Sonny Boy is a Madhouse series. Um,
Yes.
and it is a
Wait, is it the only one, or didn't Madhouse have like three different series like this season or something?
I believe it's the only one this
Really?
season.
Which one was I? What studio was I thinking was like? I was surprised that it had like three different freaking like things.
I don't know,
Was it
Mappa
Mappa maybe?
maybe? Because
Yeah,
Mappa's been
probably Mappa.
going into fucking overdrive lately.
Yeah, yeah.
But
It's been turning into like legit A1. Sorry, keep going.
yeah. So um this series is I don't really know how to classify this genre wise. Um it's basically just a semi episodic um like very very character driven drama series um that takes place in very supernatural surreal circumstances. So the basic premise is that a bunch of kids from school get essentially transported to another world, and the vehicle for which that they get transported is their school itself. The first episode starts off um, there. It doesn't really show uh, the beginning. In the beginning, it doesn't really show like the actual transportation itself. They just show the school in this black void, um, and it kind of just goes from there. Some of the kids have superpowers, some of the kids don't, um, and this is one of those series that's like it's kind of hard to describe without just like essentially saying what happens in the series. But I don't really want to do that because this is a very, 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 very slow series. It's like it's uh
It's a very also like the word I would use, or I guess the phrase I would put is it's a little bit more outside of the initial structure, which is just like, yeah, you guys just get all these powers, right? Outside of that, it's relatively non sequitur. Would you say that?
yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah,
kind of like things are kind of just happening. It's not like necessarily bad, but it's like, okay, this is happening, I guess, is sort of the
yeah.
feeling I got.
It's there's not very much like there's no like um
There's no overarching plot that's like continually
yeah,
driving them
there's no
forward.
like overarching threat or any
They're
sort
not
of
like we're gonna beat this boss or
yeah,
whatever.
there's
Yeah.
no like real goal. Like there is an end game, which is eventually, obviously, they all want to get home, right? But like it's not something that they are constantly striving for. Because like I said, this is very, very, very character focused. Like it's pretty much all on the character. Pretty much this entire series is just characters talking to each other. Like
Right,
like
right, right, right.
there's no like narration, there's no like and then this happened. Like there's no like it's basically just high schoolers um talking to each other. And they just so happen to have weird powers. And there's a lot of symbolism. There's a lot of surreal stuff happening. Um but even like through all that, like it is very chill. It is very slow. Um, and so far, I like it a lot. I think it's really good.
The
Um,
animation is also kind of like it kind of the feeling that came to me is like it kind of reminds me of like it's like a hybrid between, one of those like amateur, like indie Japanese animation kind of things, like that they show at like movie festivals or whatever,
yeah,
right? It's like a mix of that and like, but then like the lack of background makes it kind of look like a Newgrounds kind of
yeah,
thing.
it's really cool. So the
But
stuff that
but
they do,
it kind of it's it's unique and I like it, but it's like it also helps kind of like focus on the characters, if that makes sense.
yeah.
Which is
So the backgrounds are like they're all a lot of them are very simple, right? Like they're painted like if you have, but like if you're like if you say the background is like in a forest, right? Um,
right.
it's not like super detailed, right? Like it's brush strokes, like you can tell you can see the strokes, right? Like whereas the characters,
It's like a music movie almost, like it's like or music video where you know how
yeah,
where it's like you suddenly have those like animations, but the background it's like all pastel or whatever. It's like of like changing. It's kind of like that
yeah,
almost.
but the characters comparatively, like they're very clean, right? They have very solid colors. They've got clear outlines. Obviously, pretty much all of them are in school uniforms, so they're very wearing like pretty much all white with black pants. Um,
Yeah,
they,
dripless, so to speak.
yeah. Um, but like the style is super cool. So, because like typically in an anime, right, when you have shots that are like characters from very far away, right? Um, it usually doesn't look too good, right? It doesn't look very good. Because obviously like the drawings that they use are very low detail. Some of the times their faces are all fucked up, stuff like that. Um, and some series in recent uh, years have tried to do like CG, like a character walks far enough away from the screen, just
Yeah.
becomes CG.
Like Tsuki ga
Um,
Kirei
Yeah, they
is
load their
yeah,
one of the
LOD.
worst. Yeah.
yeah. But this series does something that I've never seen before, and I think is really cool. So they literally like change the art style for characters that are farther away from the screen. Like if there are characters that are very far away, they're drawn in almost like a children's book style where
Oh.
they don't have like an outline, you know. Uh they're very simple, like almost shape like, um and like it's low detail, but like it fits, right? Because of the way the backgrounds are drawn, they fit with the background, which like makes sense because they're farther away, right? And it's really cool. Um, but yeah, this show is like the show's style is super cool. Like it's almost like
Mhm.
Saki Yuasa esque, but it's a little bit
Oh,
uh
okay, right.
it's a little bit different. There's some bits later on that are like they feel very Masaki Yuasa. Um, but yeah. So again, it's hard to like really talk too much about this series because like a lot of it is kind of just characters talking to each other. But like it is again, it's a super character driven like drama. I feel like it's mostly a coming of age story. There's sort of a love triangle going on, but it's not really anything that they've drawn attention to. Like it's just like the way that some characters react to certain scenarios, the way that some certain like a couple of characters have, bickered back and forth between each other. Like they're hinting at sort of a love triangle thing going on. Um, but like again, it's not really a focus. Uh, you know, I did say this is like semi-episodic, um, because like a lot of basically the way the
It's
episodes
a little bit
flow,
more like stream of consciousness.
yeah, the way the episodes flow is it kind of sort of presents like a an aspect of a character, and it kind of just explores that. It doesn't necessarily resolve it, right? Like there's like so the main character, his name's Nagata. He's like this basically listless, unmotivated, cowardly kind of dude, right? And for quite a bit in the series, I think at least like 3 episodes, he doesn't think he has power, right? Like he's like, oh, everybody else is getting powers and stuff, but I don't have one. Like, and that's not really a big a deal, right? But later on, it's discovered that like uh his power is to like hop between worlds. Um but like he can't control where he goes, right? Um and that's sort of like they sort of use that as a tool to kind of explore the fact that like you know he himself doesn't really know where he wants to be. He doesn't really know where he wants to go. Um he doesn't really have ambitions. He doesn't like, you know, um, and so like there's a lot of stuff like that where it sort of explores aspects of characters, but it doesn't do the thing where it's like, oh well, we've talked about your problems and now they're solved. You know, it's just like it's sort of um acknowledges. You know what I mean? Like the characters
Right.
sort of see that aspect of themselves and like they go, huh, okay. You know what I mean? And I
Mhm.
don't know, it's really refreshing to see a series that's not trying to like solve the flaws in characters that it's presenting. Because I feel like a lot of character driven stories, like they'll present an issue that the character is having, and in an episode or 2 episodes, like they'll solve that, and that's that
Right.
character's like arc, and then they kind of get benched. You know what I mean?
It's kind of
Um,
like it's a lot like I mean like a lot of
I
this
mean,
sort
that's
of like
basically what I was talking about. What was it last week with holy fuck, what was that series called? Uh, Kogeki Shoujo or whatever, where it's like, you know,
yeah, exactly.
an episode goes by and it's like we've solved bulimia, and it's like that's that is not
That's not how
that's
yeah,
not how
that's
that
not.
goes. Not how
It's
that
kind of
works at
like
all.
the ups and downs that Nier is kind of talking about, and the resolution is pretty reminiscent. Like it's parallels between literature and music as well, where it's like you don't necessarily. I mean, like obviously resolutions can be cathartic, right? Like having somebody solve a problem is obviously cathartic, and sometimes it's good in literature and music and so on, right? Music, it's almost oftentimes needed at the end, but you don't want to make the start, the middle, and the end, like the final, kind of be like so obvious that essentially becomes like a pop song, or in literature's case, it's just like, oh yeah, okay, like this is just like a Disney movie now, right? Like you don't. That's not what you want it to become. You want it to become like a little bit more open ended, a little bit more like organic than that, right? So
yeah. Um, but yeah, I don't know, man. This I was excited for this series. Um, pretty much
beginning,
uh ever since we covered it in the previews.
right?
Um, like just the style of it, right? Like just was like I'm intrigued. Like I didn't even need to know the premise to just be like, yeah, I'm gonna watch this. You know.
Right.
And style wise, it definitely delivered. And then in terms of like the, I mean, so far, um, the the story, the writing, the characters, like it's all just really good. Like it just feels really good. Um, and it's 8 episodes in right now. It's a 12 episode season. Um, and things in the last couple episodes have definitely been moving more at a slightly uh quicker pace. They've introduced some new characters um that like aren't the initial like class that got stranded or whatever, which is
Hmm.
interesting. um they they've really stepped up like the symbolisms and shit. There's been a lot of like, you know as Japan loves to do. There's been quite a bit of biblical symbolism.
Hmm.
um but what I find interesting is, you know this is one of those series where like I've been watching like people do like episode discussions and breakdowns and stuff,
Right.
because it is one of those like more abstract series. So it is interesting to see like what people get out of the episodes. Um, like a lot of people have picked up that um, some of the like the powers and stuff that have been like visually represented in the last couple of seasons, or last couple of episodes. Um, like the way they're being like visually represented is like tying into like string theory and like the laws of
What the
physics and shit.
fuck?
And
Okay.
yeah, it's like it's really interesting to see like the things that people pick up on, right?
Right.
And it's interesting to see that like uh a lot of the lines that people are drawing between like the way the powers work and the way they're being represented, like they're thematically like appropriate, which is really cool. Like um it's nice when the symbolism in a series goes beyond like, look at this cross, you know what I mean? um but
Or
yeah,
like
I
the
don't know.
church is bad, the church is good kind of stuff
Yeah.
that sometimes
eh,
happens.
yeah, it's just cool. And I don't know, it's a good show so far. One thing
Right.
I do really really like is the music is extremely rare in this series. I think
Mm.
there's only like 2 instances of background music in like the first 6 episodes.
Oh, so that's what it was throwing me off. Okay, no, I remember. I
Yeah,
remember this. Yeah. So because I felt like I was watching it and I was like something is throwing me off, but I think that might have been it. What was throwing me off
yeah,
because it's
like
like ever
it is.
ever since like I don't know what the last time was when a series really kind of like weaponized almost like the silence instead of having BGM. I think it was like beyond like Kyoani doing it for Hyoka and like maybe some parts for like Nichijou, for instance, the card game stuff or the
Yeah,
card like tower thing. Other than that, like I don't think I've seen a studio really focus on like specifically using silence, which is really good.
yeah, it's really cool. Um, but yeah, uh, like even to the point where the series doesn't have an OP like at all. There
Right.
is no OP. Like
Yeah, no, I know.
there's the insert song for the credits, um, but there's no ED either. It's just black credits, which
The
I think
the
is
the the secret is that the real trick to this is that this is a long con to for studios to not pay money for
yeah, bro.
OPED
Like,
or like for OSTs. Yeah,
bro, you just don't have an OP.
we don't
It's
have
like
music department. Sorry.
it's
Yeah,
symbolic, bro.
don't have
But
an OP&ED. Just be like, it's our style.
yeah,
if you
it's my style, bro.
if you just focus hard enough in your head, you can imagine that Nana Music is singing an opening.
Yeah,
Okay, just
but yeah, I really like this show. And
okay.
I really hope it resolves well. Um,
Hmm.
I don't see it going like I don't really see it like swerving completely to the left. Just like,
Yeah,
yeah, here's the
maybe the
mastermind
worst thing that
behind.
can
Yeah,
yeah.
Yeah, you don't
The
think
I,
worst
that
thing that can happen,
the
that can happen is probably just like a break off of like kind of like a oh like it kind of just broke off after the last mini arc is kind of the worst that could happen probably.
yeah, but I don't know. I mean, it's going pretty strong so far. And I like it a lot. So
Dark, what were you gonna say? Sorry.
yeah, just waiting. I was gonna say, just wait until the anti-spiral show up, buddy. Then
yeah,
you're in for it.
Just blame it on A1,
Final
motherfuckers.
episode. The Verm shows up. Fucking fighting Polygon team looking ass. Oh
Blame
yeah.
A1, sir.
but yeah,
um, yeah.
the last thing I really wanted to mention was that this is directed and written by Shingo Natsume, who was he
Yes, yes,
directed
yes.
Aka 13. Um,
This is
he
the
directed
first thing that he's done, like, full director for all episodes and the script on, right? Like, before
yes,
he's mainly done, like, storyboard stuff for anime and
yeah,
so on.
he's done storyboarding for a lot of stuff. He directed again Aka 13. He directed
Yeah.
Space Dandy, both seasons.
Like,
Um,
episodes here and there, but this one, he is the captain.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
like
It's pretty interesting to see.
it's definitely like it's all like I guess his from his head, right? Um,
Right.
and it's
And
solid.
this is an anime original, right? So it's
Yeah,
like it's not like he has a crutch or anything like that. Like he can, he can't be like, that Sayonara Zetsubo Sensei meme where it's like they were like, "Oh, it's an homage, sir. I can
yeah,
always blame you, right?" He can't blame anybody. It's if this gets fucked up, it's his problem, but
yeah,
apparently he's been handling it very well.
yeah. It's good. It's good. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, I like it a lot. It's so far, it's contender for anime of the year for me.
Good
So
stuff. All right. Well, again, thank you very much, Nier, for helping to cover Sunny Boy. Honestly, I was looking at this animation and suddenly like uh what is it? A good bad like the one of those like good evil alignment charts. Like it came up to like D&D alignment charts where it's like Violet Evergarden is like lawful good. This one is neutral good. Hoseki no Kuni is like chaotic good, and the Aknohana is like chaotic
yeah,
evil kind of
yeah,
shit going on. But anyways, this is Madhouse series, and I believe this one is the only one of its of that Madhouse is commandeering for right now. It is done by, as Nier said, it is directed by Shingo Natsume. It's like the first major thing that he's fully directing all episodes on, doing scripts and turning it out pretty great. So If you do like this sort of thing, please do check it out. Next, Toast. What do you have for us today?
Ah,
What do you have for us today, Toast?
I don't know.
Something like some shit, I guess. Would you like to cover your series?
No. Not really.
Okay. I guess we should just talk about what crew, you know? What's that? Okay. Can we cover your series, Toast? Come on.
I forgot the title. What's it called?
I'll
So, I just
Tsuki,
call it. I
just call it Tsukimichi. Yeah.
Tsukimichi?
I just
Yeah.
call it Moonlit Fantasy Through Another World.
That is fine too. So yeah, the full title is Tsuki ga Michibiku Isekai Douchuu, or like I believe the translated titles have variously been like Moonlit Fantasy, Moonlit Journey to Another World, or something like that. Or yeah,
It's Tsukimichi Moonlight Fantasy.
right. And yeah, the localized title is Tsukimichi Moonlit Fantasy. It is light or web novel original. I believe it was yeah, it shows that Scaninaro, obviously. The birthplace of all these fucking things. Isekai, although I do like this one, so I don't know why I'm disparaging it already. But it is
Because all
originally
isekai is bad. So
yeah, that's true. So this is an isekai from Shosuka Ninaro, very famous, essentially JP equivalent of fanfiction.net. It got a bunch of adaptations. It's now an anime adaptation under C2C Studios. C2C Studios, um, who did a bunch of sort of smaller stuff before, except for I believe Suka Suka, right? Uh, uh, which
Are
is
you are
World
you
End.
are you calling Euromates 3D something small?
I apologize. But yeah,
What
some
about
of the
what
some of
about
the things, yeah.
Majo no Tabi Tabi? Didn't you like
Yeah,
that
yeah,
one?
yeah, yeah. I apologize. They've done some bigger stuff recently. They did again. A lot of these are like light novel adaptations, stuff that become bigger and bigger hits. A lot of the C2C covers are like smaller, like cult, not smaller, but like sort of like cult hits that have become bigger. So it's like again, World End was a cult hit that became bigger, right? Um, what is it? I guess they did Hitori Bochi, which is the manga adaptation. They did Majin no Tabi Tabi, or Wandering Witch: The Journey of Elena, um, which Toast mentioned, and now Tsukimichi, which is also again another sort of cult light novel, web novel hit.
Is
But
it cult
anyways, so,
though? If it's so cult, how come it only took until now to get an adaptation? Why
well,
is it
to be fair,
and why is it only
how
12 episodes?
how why did I forget the isekai that you covered last? Why am I forgetting the name of it? I shouldn't be blanking out on this one. What was the isekai that you covered last season? The really big one.
Is that you?
No. The isekai that you covered. The really big one.
I mean, saying really big isekai doesn't really narrow anything
The
down
one
anymore.
Mushoku Tensei. Mushoku Tensei. What the fuck?
I didn't
Why did I
cover
forget
that.
about that?
I covered that.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, no, sorry, I apologize. I always keep thinking that Toast covered these. But yeah,
Yeah,
Mushoku
I
Tensei
stole the
is,
isekai from him.
yeah, you wrested it from his hands, from his cold dead pants. But Mushoku Tensei was also sort of like a cult hit, and and pretty popular too, and that didn't get published until now. But anyways,
Yeah, but
I apologize.
that didn't that get 24 episodes?
I
No?
mean, 12,
Yes.
24 is
It's also
yeah,
getting
I
a sequel,
guess.
so not
Well,
much.
we don't know what's
Yeah,
happening with this one either yet. So,
Mushoku Tensei had big boy money behind it, so
Mushoku
Was it
Tensei better have big money behind it.
sponsored
But
by
yeah.
Crunchyroll, right? No, it's
I
a
believe.
Crunchyroll original. That's the one.
But yeah, anyways, I apologize to us for
So
interrupting. But-
Suki ga Kirei. What's it about? Okay, so you got this
no,
guy.
I think that's a different series. Tsukimichi.
I don't remember the name. You got this guy named Makoto. He's an ugly. Apparently, he's ugly because he's got a fish. He got the fish face eyes, and he's ugly.
Or people are supposed to perceive him as ugly. I think that's
No, he's
what the
ugly.
goddess cursed him with. Yeah.
No, he's ugly. So he does he does archery in his spare time, and then he suddenly gets whisked away to an isekai due to some pact
Some
agreement
bullshit.
by a
Yeah.
goddess, because his parents are other. Oh, well, here's a twist. His parents are from an isekai, so they
I
signed
mean,
a
that
pact.
becomes part of the lore later, but yeah,
They
it's not
signed a
as
pact
important
with the
now, I think.
goddess, be like, okay, you can move to Earth, but in time, I'm gonna take something away from you. So then he's all like, okay. So they took away the son because Mako- the dude, his name Tsukiyomi, the god Tsukiyomi was all like, if I don't take one of your children, I'll take away your sister or your other sister. And he's like, damn, okay, I guess I'll go. And then he goes, and then the goddess is like, hey, here's where's that where's that person I was promised? And he's like, damn, you ugly, get out of
Yeah.
here. So she
Throws
drops
him
him
down to the
like
world.
the edge of the world. But then
Yep.
the Tsukiyomi dude is like, oh, I guess yeah, she's yeah, we all know she kind of sucks. So here, I'll give you a gift, and you can do
Yeah,
whatever in your world.
the goddess is supposed to be the bad one here, and the Makoto, the main character, who's supposed to be sort of plain or hideous according to the goddess, gets the powers. He also has later powers from his parents and all of the lore, but that's in much later lore, obviously. But
Then what's the story? The story is about since he's got abandoned by the goddess, he hates the goddess. So now, as revenge, he's going to live a non-binary life in this isekai,
yeah. He
however
wants to
he
get
wants
revenge
to.
on yeah. He wants to get revenge on the goddess, and he also wants to obviously kind of live his life in the isekai, essentially.
So
And along the way, he meets the various characters.
he fights a dragon and then forms a contract with the dragon. He fights a spider, forms a contract with a spider.
Mhm.
Finds some orc.
Orc, yeah, the orc girl. That's like ends up as a secretary, right, or something like that. Toast.
He's dead.
Toast is
Oh.
dead. But yeah, essentially the idea is he goes through the usual like isekai stuff, kind of meets like all the characters, kind of beats them all up because he's super overpowered and becomes even more and more like powerful, and he essentially creates his own sort of like almost kingdom essentially. And that's sort of how after that it becomes very like standard. He's kind of walking around doing whatever he wants. Oh, Toast is back. Yes. Toast, you're a little bit soft there.
Is this on? Hello? Okay,
Yeah,
Yes,
there you
welcome
go.
back.
I can hear you.
So
Yeah.
the whole point of he doesn't like humans because he's ugly, and the goddess in this world, you know, fawns over humans because she likes beautiful people. So every other human in this world is beautiful, and he's ugly. So so when she gave him like the act, she gave him a gift because she has to. She gave him the ability to speak all the languages except the common language, which is human. So
Mhm.
you know he doesn't. All the humans hate him because he's ugly and he can't speak human. So there's that. So one of the because he got a contract with the this dragon chick, she's she has a I guess I'll call it a sealed world power. She
Yes.
like space and dreams and memories and whatnot. So when she formed a contract with him, he got a personal subspace where
Yeah.
stuff a sealed world. So now he
Yeah. The sealed world actually does act. The reason why Toast is pointing out is that the sealed like subspace thing actually becomes a ridiculously huge part of the actual story because he uses the subspace to create his own sort of like village slash town slash kingdom kind of land ish, and then he puts all his shit there, and then like everybody kind of comes in and out of there, and things happen. So it's an actual big part of.
so yeah, he recruits a bunch of demi-humans and makes a village. I forgot the village
Yeah.
title. I don't know.
I believe it's like Cool or something like that.
Arslan Senki? Yeah, that's sure,
Arslan
whatever.
Senki, yeah.
Something. So now he's wandering the world with a subspace, and he's like, I guess it'll be a good idea to form a trading company because I got this cool subspace and all where I'm making produce and stuff, so might as well throw it out in the world and make some money. So he does that. What else? So that's basically the story so far.
Okay. Can I? How are the audio visuals on it?
I mean, it looks like it kind of looks like
Kind of looks like you cut off. Is Toast dead again? What's happening? God.
whoa, hello, it's
Oh,
me again.
there he
Yes.
is.
Okay. What does it look like?
It looks okay.
It look okay. And the voice
Kind of
actor.
like
Okay, sorry.
the,
Keep
the
going.
visuals. It
Yeah.
looks like very close to the manga, I guess. Manga looked good,
Okay,
so
interesting. Yeah, I haven't read the manga adaptation, but it should be
yeah,
decent if
this
it's close
I'm
to the
pretty sure
manga.
the this one is a closer adaptation, has the art style taken directly from the manga, so that's a good thing. I'm very
Hmm.
pleased with it.
Right.
CTC did a good job, I guess. Don't you like? I mean, you
No,
like it,
I like Machi
right?
no Tabi Tabi. Yeah.
Oh,
And
what?
I like uh they did a pretty decent job, I think, for the most part. I forget what it reminded me of actually. Their artwork kind of reminded me of not Lerche, but maybe Diomedia. Maybe like
Yeah.
it was a pretty glossy thing where it kind of reminded me of sometimes of, like Diomedia and stuff like that. Maybe not Dean, but Dean all their good days maybe, but maybe
Does
something like
Dean ever
yeah, I
have
think
good
maybe
days?
Dean has had, to be fair, Dean has had
Back
good
in the
days, I
early
think.
2000s,
Yeah,
Sometimes.
maybe.
sometimes, yeah. But yeah, okay. So again, their Seiyu
I'm
cast is pretty stacked. Has
sure. Let's see.
Ueda Reina, Hayami
Eve.
Saori, Hito Akari, Hanae Natsuki, Sakura Ayane, just
I don't
boom,
know
boom,
who
boom,
any
boom.
of those people are. I do know Ayane Sakura though. That she voices the dragon. That's cool.
Ayane Sakura has,
I don't know who
she's
Akari
been
Kito
pretty nice.
is.
Akari Kito has just been on like a huge streak ever since doing her. It wasn't like a breakout role, but once she did I forget what
Grand Chris, neat. Haru
sorry,
Khan ever
Kimetsu no Yaiba. Especially since she did Nezuko in Kimetsu no Yaiba. Ever since she did that, she's been like literally just like front row, like top, just like please, I'm going to cut the line for this audition. Sorry, get out of my way, kind of levels of like.
Does Nezuko even count as a main role? All she does
I
is
mean,
growl.
I'm not gonna comment on that. Like, I'm not gonna comment on whatever. But she has become popular because of Kimetsu no
Yeah,
Yaiba.
she's in Kimetsu no Yaiba, so
I won't comment on the voice acting, right? Because it's like I kind of have similar sentiments as you, but Kimetsu no Yaiba is Kimetsu no Yaiba. So after that, she just got all right. So it's like
Yeah, so she voices the spider chick Mio.
yep,
Yes.
yes.
So and then the opening is sung by some guy, I don't remember his name. Some
Yeah.
Vocaloid guy.
Okay.
Pseudo? Sure?
Okay.
Pseudo?
Shudo, yeah.
Pseudo? So yeah,
Okay.
it's the actual guy singing it, so good for him. All I
How,
know all I know is that makes pe- people like to cover VTubers like to cover his music sometimes. So it's a good opening. Why not?
okay. How do you feel about I guess Tsukimichi's the best way I can say is place within sort of how you think about like isekai, right? Stuff like that. So it's like, I mean, I guess the rough question to ask is like, do you like Tsukimichi? Do you think it's good? And I guess the follow up sort of addendum to that is like, um, I guess how would you treat it, sort of rank it alongst like the other stuff that you've watched?
You like let's see. You like Slime Tensei because it has a similar feel to it
Okay.
in a way.
I can see that. I can see
It's
that.
the overall world building where
Mhm.
well, it's similar and different too. Where there's a world being like, oh, I'm gonna build a village because I've been put in these circumstances, and whatever. Compared to Rimuru, where I'm gonna build a village because I'm a slime.
Yeah.
I'm
But
a,
the
I'm,
idea is that the cast of characters just keeps growing and growing and growing and growing, and that sort of creates the world, right?
no, what? In which one? Because I'm about to go. I'm about to go into a different version of what you're thinking, Spider.
Tsukimichi at least.
Because let's say we're in say in the case of Slime Tensei, the
Uh-huh.
most important characters are the ones that are inside Tempest, the city. A majority of the characters there are are residents of Tempest. In this one,
Mhm.
the villagers in the subspace are pretty much a throwaway. You don't need to remember any of them, like
Yeah.
for a bunch of except for the leaders
Yeah. Yeah.
of
The nations and whatever are kind of it's kind of there. The
AKA
people are important.
AKA
Yeah.
his actual familiars.
Yeah. Yeah.
So far, Rimuru has all the all those people under his command, but with how am I supposed to say this? Uh, but with Tsukimichi, the main characters are, I, I guess, Makoto, Tomoe, and Mio, but in the way that hmm, but yeah, basically those three are the main characters. But
Mhm.
Tomoe is more of a main character than Makoto, because
Yeah,
she's
I think especially in the early stages, there's a lot of things where it's like Tomei definitely there's like a lot of from Tomei's perspective kind of thing going on, right? If I remember correctly.
Makoto. He's some mostly the typical Isekai average teenage boy where he doesn't know what he's doing and he's happy-go-lucky and goes along with things.
Uh-huh.
So the driving force behind the actual the world building and building up his city is Tomoe because she watch
She takes the
her
initiative under his command, essentially.
because one of her powers is she can see the memories of others. So when she saw Makoto's memories, she saw historical dramas and she's like, damn, I like being I like the samurai period. Let's build a village
Mhm.
and make it and work off of that. And he's like, oh, okay, I guess.
Right.
Because so far, Makoto's goal in the isekai is just I don't know. Since my parents live here, I'll just follow what they did. And I'll just follow their path and see what the world takes me. And Tomoe here is more interested about, uh, you know, making the village. So they have two differing goals. So Makoto's just being strung along by Tomoe's goals, but it's they're not working against each other. They're working with each other, so it's
Right.
okay, I guess.
How do you like the I mean, I guess do you like it? Do you like the
So
series?
okay, I guess. I the huge negative is that this is a 12 episode series, so
Yeah, it's not gonna cover jack shit.
compared to compared to Slime Tensei, it's a lot more. There's a lot of skipping going on
Hmm.
that I'm not a fan of.
Yeah, yeah.
Some plot points that are pretty much condensed.
Hmm.
I really do wish this was 24 episodes because I keep comparing it to Slime Tensei, which I'm pretty sure it got a full 24, right?
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
it got three. It has
It's got multiple
three seasons,
seasons,
right? Yeah,
so
it has 3 seasons plus a spinoff by now, right, or something like that,
Yeah.
or a second season and a spinoff or something. But yeah, All right. Any last words on Tsukimichi?
Why was it gotta be 12, man? We're at,
Unfortunate.
I don't know. It's okay, I guess. What am I rated? I'll rate it 8.7 out of 10.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, again,
I'll rate it. I'll
yes.
rate it above Slime Tensei because why not?
Okay.
You get big bonus points for having Ayane Sakura as basically the main character and the driving force behind the plot of this series.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. Yeah. Sorry.
minus points for Makoto being pretty naive and gullible.
I mean,
Because
that's part of how the plot advancements go, though, right? It's like him making the mistakes is part of how the plot gets
he
advanced
makes
forward.
a lot of mistakes. He's like, hey,
Yeah.
you know, I still have these Japanese isms that I'm gonna go with, and he takes things at face value. Where you know, if a person says something and he's like, okay, I believe you, I guess. So he's he's pretty, I guess really naive is the term I give.
Well,
I
part
give
of
him.
that is like is probably part of his namesake, right? Makoto, which is like straightforward, right? Honest
Sure.
/ frank, right?
He
So,
only knows. He sees the world in black and white. I would say. He only sees a person as either a friend or a foe. He's not very manipulative.
Mhm.
That's where Tomoe comes in because she does a lot of things behind the scenes that makes the plot move forward, and Makoto isn't really aware of it.
Mhm.
I mean, sucks to be him, but good for everyone else that Tomoe knows what she's doing.
Right. Yeah,
And
it's a little bit. Yeah, some of the stuff
see,
is a little bit unfortunate.
currently, I think I'm on episode 9, and they've only gotten to the point where they've went to 2 towns, and they're doing.
Oh, okay.
He just started his trading company, and now he's encountering
They've
the
just started the training company. Wow. Okay.
and he found the you know the part where talks to the Rembrandt company, right?
Yes.
He saved them, and now he's finding the ambrosia flowers and
Just now?
talk
Jesus
to the what is it?
Christ.
Calls them the orcs. They're not orcs,
Isn't
they're
that
elves.
literally just the first like volume or like maybe the second volume of like
That's what I want to
of
say. Yeah,
oh
he
my god.
just encountered the orcs, but AKA the elves. Before the big thing happens that changes his perspective of things.
Right, right.
So I'm like, is that how you're gonna end the series with that? The
Yeah,
big
that's a little bit that's like just that's essentially like the adventure's just about to begin and then they
there's
just run
a
off into
yeah
sunset and that's the
the
anime.
third the third the third contracted servant is teased at the end of this episode. So I'm like, you're not gonna get that far, are you? No, you're not gonna get to the next arc. You're gonna finish up this arc,
Yeah.
and before like this is just the start of the story, and you're only gonna get 12 episodes into this. It's not cool, man. So
It's a little
yeah,
bit unfortunate. So,
better be a second season out of this. It looks good. I like this very good story, world
mhm.
building, and all that. I mean, you could tell this is not your average isekai. There's actual thought and effort put into this. Not so. Yeah, it's a shame. I mean, am I gonna watch to the end? Yeah, yeah, I will. Do I expect a second season? No, I don't.
Yeah.
Oh
Again,
well,
unfortunate.
shame. It's good
Yeah.
though. 8.7.
Okay. I the reason why I butted into Toast and interrupted him way more times than was polite was because this Tsukimichi was actually one of the, I believe, probably the first or second web novel that I ever kind of laid my like eyes on, and so it's always had, regardless of like where it's going now or whatever, it's always had a sort of soft spot or soft play or soft spot. I've always had a sort of soft spot in my heart for it. So, you know, I,
It's for a slice of life isekai. This one actually has a very good plot moving forward. It's not It's not a day-to-day thing where it's like, oh, I'm a potion builder. I'm
The
making potions.
cast is really good. The cast is I do like the
Yeah.
cast a lot. Is how it works out, and they help with, again, as Toast mentioned, the plot moving forward. But yeah, if you do like this series, this is Tsukimichi Tsuki ga Michibiku. What is it?
Yes.
Oh my god. Yeah, Tsuki ga Michibiku Isekai Douchuu, right? So that's the series. It is also a web novel. It is free, available on Alpha Police if you want to check it out. And I believe most of it's been, if not, yeah, I think most of it's been translated. So, or sorry, like 80% of up to the latest chapter of the web novel has been translated, I believe. So you can check that out wherever it is. So if you want to check out the original material, but yeah, this is the anime. It is by Studio C2C, and yeah, please check it out if you are so inclined. And I guess last is going to be Aquatope of White Sand. It is. So Nier isn't indicating it, but he's already like kind of he's already not liking where this might be going. So this is the PA Works series for this season, and I believe PA Works doesn't only does like an anime like every year or like half season nowadays, right? Pretty much, or every other
Um,
season nowadays.
yeah, I feel
Have
like
they gone into more regular release?
recently it's been like one every 2 seasons, I
They
think.
did they did 3 in like no, not even 3. They did 2. They okay, so they did 1 in 2019. Wow, okay. And they did 2 in 2020. They did 2 in 28. No. Yeah, they did 2 in 2018. Plus some Umu Musume stuff. And then this is their first 2021 thing, apparently. Wow.
Yeah.
The day I became a god was 2020? Fuck, I feel old.
Uh, yeah,
um
fucking drain the life out of you, dude.
yeah, I know. But yeah, this is their PA Works. I don't think I need to mention really anything about their audio visuals. It's fucking PA Works. Come on, give them the respect. Give them the fucking respect. Okay.
I will give them
Um,
no respect.
yeah, zero respect. Voice actors, cast, all solid because PA Works has money. Ito Miku, main character, voicing the blue hair girl. Misaki no Kukuru, uh, Miyazaki Fuka, former idol, who meets up with the blue hair girl and helps her with her dreams of keeping up the aquarium, and does have some Yuri moments, voiced by Aida Rikako, who's funnily enough, also is an idol and voices one of the more famous 2D idols in Japan, Riko in Love Life Sunshine. Other stuff, Waki Azumi voice, Lin, so on and so forth. There's a lot of good voices here. So that's that. I believe the main script, sorry, yeah, the series composition is done by Kakihara Yuko, who is also behind. I'm not sure if Nier will like this, but it's done by behind Irozuku. Although Irozuku was a light novel original, right? It wasn't an anime original, I believe, right? Here.
Uh,
Um
check.
Irozuku was a light novel, right? Yeah. She also did Digimon Try stuff, Digimon Adventure Try.
Yuruzuku was original.
Iruzuku was original? Oh no. Okay.
Yeah,
So
buddy.
so Nier and I are going to be arguing a little bit because I didn't hate this one. But and the later she also did stuff like help out with the later Chihaya Furu seasons. She didn't do the first one for some reason. So yeah, this one, the basic idea is everybody, all the main characters on all the supporting cast are chucked into Okinawa for one reason or another. They're all like parts of like an aquarium staff. And the aquarium is kind of like an old one, and it's going to be it's not doing so well, and it might be shutting down. And the two people that really want to save it, obviously everybody wants to save it because everybody's all young and like energetic and like, oh no, we can't let this go like this, go away like this. The main girl is the blue hair girl, the Misaki no Kukuru, who is the director of the aquarium, the young director of the aquarium, who is also like a high school girl for some reason. But she's like deputy director. She's helping out with the aquarium. She's super enthused about it. She doesn't want it to go down. Uh, and then she is joined by a new person on the scene, Miyazawa Fuka, who is who was trying to chase her idol dreams of Tokyo, but then she had a bunch of sort of kind of gave up on it because she saw her friend wanting to do better, and she's like, I'll let her have my spot. And then she got kicked out, and then she escaped to Okinawa, and is starting to help out with the aquarium, and now everybody's kind of like in it. And the series is generally like the day-to-day, like, you know lives of these guys kind of working at the aquarium, kind of helping out, going through a little bit of drama, dealing with the fact that the aquarium might be shut down and stuff like that. And along the way there are some sort of like, I don't know if it's like, it's essentially they're like supernatural incidents ish, where it's like people kind of, you'll see it in the anime as like the water from the aquarium suddenly like not bubbles, but like reaches out to the person and surrounds them, and they have this like vision while they're in this aquarium of like being surrounded by their family or like whatever, and it's like, wow, I'm getting healed, or like, oh, I saw this thing that inspired me, or whatever it is, right? So that's the thing. It's essentially on the same level as the Klana, the girl in the snowfield, right? It's essentially a supernatural incident on the level of that, where you're like, I don't know whether it happened, but it's a little bit annoying, but I guess it's a thing now, kind of thing, right? It's not as straightforward as supernatural incidents as Irazuku or something like Little Busters or something like that, but it is kind of like on the side. So just some little stuff. Uh, I'm kind of going through my notes here. The a little thing I want to note, that the Okinawa accent wasn't too strong, but I believe that is pretty realistic because most Okinawa people don't really have that strong of an accent. They have some intonations like chu de say, like they kind of lengthen out their kind of stuff, but other than that, there wasn't much. There was a little bit of that on the like old man kind of stuff. With the older characters, more accented stuff, but that's probably a little bit on the cheesy side. It does pretty. It does have the overall audio visuals, other than it being pretty solid, especially considering that it's still in the middle of COVID. It feels like previous stuff from P-Works. Kind of also felt like it was aiming for the Noitamina block, to be honest. But that's
Yeah.
just me. I just have bad Noitamina nose by now. What else did I write? It Uh, So the general flow again, it's not like episode one, the aquarium is going to get closed down. We have to save it. It's like a general sort of build up. Um, there's a lot more like kind of wending along the way, kind of doing like dramas here, a little bit of drama here, a little bit of drama there, one drama an episode, kind of one mini drama an episode, kind of thing going on. Um, some stuff I thought about while I was watching was, I kind of wish there was more like Shirobako or Sakura Quest, where it was like a little bit more laid down and a little bit more like, let's kind of like set up this project and kind of have this slower pace. The issue I found at the beginning was that the initial rollouts of the characters and the character setups and stuff like that were way too like obnoxious. It was way too sudden and kind of too railroaded. Like the main girl is just like, "Yeah, I'm the director and I love aquariums and sea animals, and that's why I'll do any." And then that's like, boom, just her character for the entire thing. And then the other kind of characters and interactions come and tint her kind of perspective. But the initial kind of setup, like max velocity, like, I love the aquarium. I was just like, all right, calm down. And then the idol was also just like, yeah, I just got kicked out of my idol company and now I'm sad. And now just in Okinawa for some reason. And it's like, okay, sure. So it's like these setups were not very good. I didn't really like them. And the initial sort of like pacing and the forced writing, where they were kind of like, oh, you're a new girl. Like, why did you even come here? Like, why are you like this? That was a little bit like awkward at times at the beginning. Similar with the sort of character setups for the supporting characters. Um, the characters outside of like the two main girls kind of seem pretty half baked. The supporting characters got a lot of lines. Don't get me wrong, but the reactions were pretty standard. It was just like this guy is supposed to be blushing because it's implied that he's kind of in love with the main girl, the main Okinawa girl, the aquarium girl. But he's just kind of like enthusiastic, like go getter. And the other guy is just kind of like a lax dude, but he has an interest in sea life. So he's just like kind of throwing out like Tsukumi's like quips like here and there, boom, boom, boom. And he's kind of like lethargic. It's like a working situation going on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Um, but it's like they're kind of just like back and forth. It's not real like they're developing that much. It's just like that's that's the enthusiastic guy. That's the lethargic guy. That's the charming girl. That's the childhood friend kind of like standard like quips back and forth going on. But there's not really that much organic like variance within the react. So I didn't like that. Um, the interesting thing was like after I want to say episode 3 or 4, I want to say 4 or 5, the development becomes pretty fucking solid. Or the way that things develop and the way that the introspections, retrospections become are pretty solid because one, they focus on the um the former idol girl and how she kind of deals with the fact that like people are kind of starting to look at her being like, wait, why the fuck you're the former idol girl? Why are you in an aquarium right now? And like she's kind of going through the struggles with that, and like and that was pretty good development, and I like that being extended over the X and the amount like 2 or 3 episodes and onward. And then the supporting characters got a lot more heavy duty stuff and a little bit more development, although not as much as maybe I would have liked. Going into after that, after the former idol girl arc, going a little bit more into okay, the aquarium is going to be shut down. What do we do about it? Thing going on. And supporting characters got a lot of the stuff. So I guess what I'm saying is like the main character is just like kind of like there to be like an asshole or like just be like, oh no, it's gonna be shut down, but to be determined. And then that sort of acts as like the pillar for the supporting characters to kind of bounce their reactions off. But the main character isn't particularly good. I wasn't really a big fan, but this the later sort of almost explosive development from I want to say episode 4 or 5 onward was really nice. But obviously there was a clear flaw where this uh, Takeada Yuko, the scriptwriter, the series composition person, kind of had this flaw where at the beginning it was kind of all jumbled up, and then later it kind of got kneaded into something better. So I would say overall the development, if you can stand to kind of go through it, is pretty decent, and I like it because I'm a very again longtime viewers of the show will know I'm a very sort of like if the pace is super slow, but still decent, I'm all for it. So it's sort of my kind of thing on this series, but I'll perfectly understand if somebody was to look at the series, even go through episodes 1 through 3 and be like, "What the fuck? This is like, there's nothing really going on," and then the characters are kind of just like wandering around and shouting at each other, and there's not really much going on, and they just kind of turn it off. I would understand if that happened. Like, that's perfectly reasonable. But I would say overall, starting from like episodes 4 and onward, it ended up being pretty decent. So it was interesting. It was kind of like the opposite of Iruzuka, honestly, where it's like the initial premise was like, oh, I guess you could do something from that. And then afterwards, it was just like it just went to shit, right? It was just like no, nothing's happening with this. No, this is terrible. Actually, fuck this. Um, so that's what was interesting. I wish this. I don't and again, it didn't the earlier episodes having the whole like one mini drama per episode sort of deal, right? Where it's like, oh, this girl has struggles, and that's like the focus of like the later minutes of the episode. Um, I'm not again, viewers of this podcast will know I'm not a big fan of that format, so I didn't really appreciate it. So honestly, I kind of wish that this series had a smoother beginning and kind of pushed up early the development arcs. I don't even know what to say. Like I just the intros. This is why intros are important. You can't just be like this is why I always rail, no pun intended, against railroading, where I'm just like, you can't just have a character be like, yeah, I'm here because fuck you. Like that stuff only works in very specific situations like Isekai. And if you don't have good intros for your characters and how they kind of meet together and do stuff, you're not going to have a good first 1 to 3 episodes. And I keep thinking of ways that this could have been salvaged, but I really can't beyond fix the fucking intros. So I don't know. I feel like the writing could have been better in the earlier part, but the later parts do make up for it. So overall, I would say that this PA work is is definitely, I would say, at the end of the day, a redemption from Irozuku, but not a redemption in the sense of um, like wow, like they totally like made everything back kind of stuff. It's more just like um, what is it? What do people in jail go through? Like after they get out, they have like the what is it? Not the community service, but they have
Probation.
yeah, probation. It's like probation. It's like you didn't do everything super well, and like you're not super out of the woods yet. You're on probation. P Works is on probation right now. like like they kind of what is fucking person called Kakihara Yuko and the whole goons over there did their fucked up with the day I became a god, although that was a little bit more on Key Studio side, right? And Junmaida's side, as well as Iruzuku. But this one was okay. And it kind of like survived. So they're on probation. I hope the next one is, great from start to good. I'm not even expecting great at this point. I'm expecting good from start to from start to finish. So that's they managed to make it out of the way. Solid. So yeah.
You've yet to tell me how many fucking space time ghosts are in this series.
Yeah, that's true. Fucking. Oh yeah. One last word. I would like to mention one last point. I would like to mention just because Nier did point it out just now. Was I am not a big fan of the way that the supernatural thing. It's like I hate the clone. Or no, when I was younger and I was going through this Cloud Snowfield stuff, I didn't like it then, and I hate it now. And the way this thing works, it's like the supernatural incidents have an effect. They have an effect on the character. So it's not just like they're just seeing a vision and they're thinking to themselves, yeah, yeah, I'll rethink my decisions or whatever. It's like they get like, for instance, there's a part like spoiler alert, but there's a part where this woman gets like swamped by the aquarium or whatever, and she's like surrounded in the water, and she gets a vision from her freaking unborn son being like, I can't wait to meet you, mommy, or whatever the fuck it is, right? So
See,
it's like
this is the shit. This is the shit that makes me go, no, I don't want to watch
This is
this.
the shit
No,
that makes me
no.
Don't wanna
go,
watch it.
damn, I really gotta get to that aquarium.
Yeah, dude. Why else would you visit a shitty aquarium if you're not gonna get visited
If you're
by
not gonna get a
spirits?
vision from your fucking unborn child.
So
That's why everyone goes to aquariums. What do you mean?
I also think that this is like it's kind of like along the same discussion as one would have with something like how it's like Gen Urobuchi has this like very like grandeur things that she kind of like just does things on a grand scale, but isn't very good at like micromanaging the smaller stuff, right? So
Yeah.
he's like capitalism, fucking class warfare, like people dying, life and death, morality. But when he's like trying to do like a single episode and not have entire building explode, he
Yeah,
struggles.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's more like you're doing all this shit, but it's like, can you bring it into like the core theme, please? Like at
and,
all,
and make it and
or is
make
this
yeah,
stuff just
exactly.
happening? Like,
Yeah. So it's like it's a side effect kind of, how it's like Planet was based upon like the whole like city of lights kind of shit, and you had to like even in the visual novel like apparently like the alphabets of the visual novel you had to like collect all the lights and shit like that, and that was like part of the theme.
yeah,
It's in my opinion slightly similar to that where you're like the aquarium just gives visions to people. I think that's how that shit works because of like because I think the main character mentions at the beginning like the aquarium is old, so it might have a like an Okinawan like forest spirit hiding in it
The
or something
aquarium is
like
fucking
that.
haunted, by the way.
Yeah, exactly. By the Okinawa forest spirit, bro. But yeah, I'm not a big fan of doing half-baked supernatural stuff like that. I'm really not. It's just too the reward that you get, the small to moderate reward that you get in terms of like the whole like supernatural, bigger than just you, bigger than life kind of value, the sort of stuff that like the whole like your name kind of level vibes, right? The stuff like that value, the potential value that you can get for that is not, in my opinion, not worth the risk of like just being flat and like honestly shitty. Like it's just if you're gonna do the supernatural thing, you really have to like hone it well. Like, or it has to be something again like how your Kimi no Na, your name, was essentially based around the freaking supernatural thing. Even then, it was done relatively well, right? Like
Yeah.
they threaded the needle pretty well. And even then, it had some small like cheesy parts like the red string of fate and the train
Yeah.
stations and all that bullshit, right? Um, but if you don't do it like that, even if you do it like that, there can be some flaws. But if you don't do it at least like that, it's just gonna fall by the wayside. I don't know. I don't like the way that Aquatope did its supernatural stuff, and I'm almost never going to like it unless somebody comes in and does it really, really, really well. So that's my opinion, at least.
I don't know. It feels like
It's not-
eh, it's like they think it's their brand or something. You know what I mean?
they,
Like,
they're too. It's like you know how people there's like an idiomatic phrase where it's like that guy loves hearing himself talk, right? People that kind of get into this, they love like seeing their own like the like supernatural script write-ups. They love seeing that shit. They're like,
yeah,
wow,
because like
fleshy lights and visions.
even Kami-sama, like it
Uh-huh.
literally started with the supernatural shit. Like it started with
Yeah,
the supernatural premise, and
but at
later
least it
on,
tied it later. Yeah, it tied
yeah,
it
later
later.
on, it averted it in a way. Like it wasn't straight up supernatural shit, right? Like
Yeah,
it was just, but the way they did it was bad, right?
yeah,
Like
absolutely.
the way that Kami-sama sort of tried to wrap itself up or tried to essentially like expedite its emotional punch, right?
Hmm.
Um, it was just dog shit, like right, like it was an absolute fucking train wreck.
Right,
Um,
absolutely.
but like with this series with Aquatope, it's not necessary. The supernatural stuff is
Oh yeah, yeah,
wholly
yeah, yeah.
unnecessary. There is
It's like a
no
little like
reason.
side thing. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
No,
like there's
absolutely.
no reason to have it at all. So
Hmm.
why did you include it? Like
Hmm.
what purpose does it serve to the characters or the
Absolutely.
plot or
Yep.
like anything at all in the series? There's
Yep.
nothing.
Yep.
Um and like at this point, I feel like PA Works is just like, um what if there was ghosts? You know? Like
They
again,
want every series to be like have you seen the cover art for like Summer Pockets? The
yeah.
Kisuga's like how it's like the shiny like sparkly sunlight summer day like perfect dating sim like background material, right? They
Yeah.
want every series to feel like that.
I know.
That's like they want to that's they're like shiny like imaginary wow like boom, like bigger than life, like wow, refreshing feel, and the spirits of the aquarium also is shining. And oh my god, it's so cathartic. Like that's what they want for
I
everything.
mean, like, just like what happened to Shirobako? You know,
Yeah,
what happened to Hanasaku Iroha? Like,
yeah,
you
yeah.
don't need you don't need ghosts.
Wakanavari left. That's what happened.
I mean, like,
She's
come
a movie
on.
director now, bro.
Yeah, big time movie director. Fucking outgrown this shit.
Yeah, she's out. No more getting fucked by 11, 12 episode series. I'm out of here. I'm making
Yeah.
3-hour movies now. uh,
I mean, you say that, but like, didn't PA Works do Sayonara no Asahi? Like, so
I feel like they did. Yeah, yeah.
yeah. So it's like I don't know, but it's like like they don't need the ghosts. Like
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
stop. Like please.
Stop
Says
Like
it.
you.
Stop
like
it.
they're on a better road right now. Like their trajectory is s- slightly
They're
in
focusing more on the action stuff.
it's slight course correction for PA Works right now. But like
Yeah.
cut the ghosts. Like it's not necessary.
Bro,
You could
that's what gives it the gloss. Bro, it's like the cherry on top.
you don't need a series about a aquarium that when you step into it, you see like your fucking ancient
Hallucinate.
airsoft ancestors, and they help you defeat the fucking
The reference.
the enemy club, right? You don't need it. It's not necessary.
Did PA Works make that? Did PA
No,
Works make a
they didn't.
Stella Joaquin? Oh fuck.
I refuse to believe
Holy
if they made that,
shit.
I'm gonna lose my mind. But
If they made that and you made that reference, I would have been like I would have like run out right now of this house.
but you can just make a series about an aquarium.
Yeah.
That's all
And like the
that's all you
people.
need. Yeah, like you just need characters and a setting. You don't need the ghosts. You don't need the strange visions from unborn children. Like just cut it out. Just stop. Like
Yo, but what if working had fucking spirits or like the shiny visions that helped fucking Inami and who is the main character? Fucking Takanashi Sota get together. What if that
yeah.
happened, bro? Come on.
What if when they
Spirits.
were drawing the frames in Shorobako, the the characters that they were drawing came out of the pages and talked to them? Wouldn't that have made it so much better? Wouldn't that have been
Bro.
so much more interesting? Wouldn't that have
Easily
added
animated the
it would have added so much value. Like I can't even think of a way that doesn't add value to the series, you know?
Oh my
Like
god.
it's like come on, man.
Why don't you try and write a series without ghosts, then, pal?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Bro, it's just
It's
good,
the
okay? You just add
natural
it.
start of any story.
It's like how MSG is good with everything. You just add it on stuff like
Yeah,
ice
you
cream, bro.
throw it
You
in
just
there,
yeah.
and
True.
it's now enhanced.
Jesus. Anyways, yeah, I definitely do agree with Nier. It just honestly doesn't just focus on the fucking aquarium and the characters, man. But yeah, that was my review of Aquatope of White Sand, or the Aquatope on White Sand, also known as Shiroi Suna no Aquatope. And if you do want to see a PA Works on the rise, I guess, question mark, from their previous works in Hirotsuku and Kamisama ni Natahi, or the Day I Become a God, which, both series, Nier and I dumped on pretty hard. If you want to see a slight revival from that, please do check this one out. And with that, we're moving on to the news here. So again, because of Corona and because of a whole bunch of other stuff, we don't have that much. We have like one piece of news, although it is pretty big, relatively. The financial research firm Teikoku Databank published a report on the anime industry for 2020 on August 2nd, and it's like a pretty standard like yearly report, I believe. The report noted that anime industry revenue, based on the revenue from 300 companies, amounted to about 251 billion yen, or about 2.29 billion US dollars, which is 1.8% lower than 2019's record high of 255 billion yen, or 2.33 billion US dollars. This is the first time the industry has contracted in 10 years, having been in a growth period since 2011. So, again, average revenue for a company in 2020 decreased for the first time since 2017. Report noted that the decrease in revenue is in part due to delays in production schedules and effects of the spread of the new coronavirus disease. Increase in costs, including those due to more outsourcing, also affected the profits of many production companies. So yeah, so a lot of general sort of like bad news, more outsourcing, more stuff like that. Being like, hey, China, just take this contract anyways, and production committees, which are the companies that actually give the money to, or and the contracts to various studios, kind of taking their business elsewhere, and so on and so forth. Um, but yeah, obviously bad news for a bunch of people. Kind of for most people in directly involved in the anime industry. I'm not talking about the production committees. I'm talking about like the anime studios, like day to day people actually grinding out the anime. Obviously, it's not good, but hopefully Corona uh, can subside by uh, sooner rather than later, and we can see uh, proper growth again. So, yeah, very important. I was sorry, very unfortunate. So, yeah. Anyways, that was all for the news. Just one piece of news, and we are now straight to our last part, the shoutouts and callouts. Everybody here gets one shout out and one call out each. The shout out will go is something that you want to give 5 out of 5. Praise to the skies. Something that you feel comfortable seeing at your bedside every night and day, and it can be any one person, place, or thing. And the call out is the exact opposite, something that you want to stomp on like a bug, something that you want to rant about. 0 out of 10, 0 out of 100 if need be, and it can again be any one person, place, or thing. And the first person cover their shoutouts and callouts will go to Nier.
Wow. Shoutouts, I guess, to tomorrow. I am going to uh the Toronto Zoo to meet up with my good pal Sin. Um, he's he's in town for the weekend. Um, and he's hanging out in Toronto with a couple other friends. And tomorrow I'm gonna go hang out with him. So that'll be fun. If you don't hear from me, you know what happened. You know?
Near, near
Yeah, you met
protection.
your unborn child at the ghost
Yeah,
at the zoo.
yeah. I walked into the ape exhibit, and my unborn child started talking to
Yeah, the ape walked up to you and said, "Together strong."
me. But
I mean, but near. You bring in protection.
what do you mean?
What's Canada's concealed carry law?
Asking you if
There
you're
is
bringing.
you cannot bring a gun into the zoo. No.
Okay, what if the key tries to kill?
Too bad.
Near, do you have enough physical strength to throw him into the gorilla exhibit?
Um, I mean, we're basically the same size, so I could probably do it. Yeah, I could probably.
All right, good.
Nice.
Yeah, if need be, you know. Um, but yeah, that should be fun. Um, as for callouts, I don't know.
Nier is happy to this week. That's good.
Yeah,
That's a good sign.
crazy stuff. I feel like I probably had something, um, but then I forgot. You know.
Yeah.
I feel like I'll probably just say fuck it and call out Kojima. Uh, he's not a good writer. Uh,
Bro,
We've
he's the
got to
best writer.
connect. We've got
yeah,
to connect.
yeah,
You
truly a
understand a
visionary.
player? Do you get it yet?
Um, yeah, I get it. I got it about like 10 minutes into the game. Um, but I'm sure I'll be hearing. I'm sure I'll be hearing the same thing, for the next like 30 hours. But
Yeah, they're social creatures for like.
yeah, but yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much, Nier. Toast. What about you? Shoutouts and callouts, please.
My shout out is to you know what? Let's shout out the new Hololive girls. They're okay, I guess. Well, I like one of them far better than the rest. She's okay.
Okay.
for obvious reasons. So yeah, good for her. How come it? How? Why? Then why is it? Why is the one that I usually like suddenly the most popular? That's not how the world works. Can't do that. Get stop. Everyone else should stop copying me. Because the ones I usually like, they're not the top of their generation, but mine is. I'm sensing some tomfoolery happening in the background. Something sus going on here. What? Yeah, Crony's cool, I guess. There you go.
Okay. Call out.
My call out.
Yeah.
I'm gonna call out. Oh, I know what I'm gonna call. I'm gonna call out Indian food. I don't like Indian food anymore.
What you eat recently that kind of turned you off?
I
Yeah.
don't
What's
know.
the Great Schism?
Alright.
Well, I don't even call it. What's it called again? I think it's Kashmiri chicken. Is that it?
Are you talking about?
It's, is that Indian? It's
No,
yellow.
yeah, Kashmir,
Yeah, it's yellow
Kashmir
rice.
curry kind of stuff plus church.
It was yellow rice with chicken in it.
Hmm.
You know,
Okay.
you know what I don't like? I don't like picking bones out of my food. Okay, tastes
Well, I mean
good.
that to be fair, that happens in a lot of like
I don't think
chicken
that's
stewy
exclusive
kind of
to
stuff. Yeah,
Indian food.
Well, the one I
yeah.
had was Indian food because my mom was like, "Here, I'm watching all these Indian films, and I guess I'll pick up Indian food." And I'm like, "Okay."
Oh, yeah,
And
that
then
can
she
happen
comes,
sometimes.
she
Yeah,
comes home with Indian rice, and I'm eating it. Like, hey, this tastes pretty good. Then bam, chomped on a chicken bone, like a
yeah,
tiny chicken,
that's very
tiny
unfortunate.
chicken
Yeah.
bone. I'm like, I don't like this anymore. So you know what I did? There's like a chicken drumstick leg at it, so I'm eating around it. But then when I'm eating it, there's some bam chicken bone,
Mhm.
like a
Yeah,
tiny chicken bone. So now I have to go down and piece by piece pick out all the tiny chicken bones that are in my portion. I don't like that. Maybe it's me being lazy, but when I like to eat food, I don't like to eat bones.
yeah.
It's the same problem I have with like eating rustic fish soup where they just drop a whole fish in there and like, oh, you can just pick out the bones later. I'm like, no, do that for me.
Well, depending on the fish, you can eat the bones, but yeah,
And I'm
nobody.
like,
I think even eating the bones is a very acquired taste.
I don't care for. I'm not gonna eat the bones. Like if you
Yeah,
put fish in a
yeah,
soup, you know
I
what I do?
understand.
I take out the entire fish. I'll just eat the vegetables instead. Like I'll just eat I'll pour the broth over rice and eat that. I don't like bones. Okay.
You know
Is it
what's worse sometimes though, and it's like a regular kind of I don't know whether I would say danger, but it's like if you go to places and they serve like shellfish related, right? The places like that are just shitty or like sloppy and stuff like that, um, will not wash out the shellfish properly. So you'll have like literally like grains of like you'll start chewing on grains of sand and shit like for shellfish, and you're like,
speaking of
Yeah,
feels.
that
shellfish?
stuff's
Yummy.
cool. Also, when you see the little parasites inside it as well, is always really neat. Seen
Yeah,
those.
Just eat the horse dewormer, bro.
but like
That's
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
true. That's true.
Well,
I could eat whatever the hell I want. Just pop a fucking horse dewormer pill,
Yeah.
then we're all good.
if
Yeah.
you're even
Good
like
stuff.
going into like shellfish, like you said, those clam and mussel soup where they serve you they serve it with you with the clam and mussels with the shells. I don't
Hmm.
like those either. I get mad at
I can
that.
understand that.
I'm really lazy. Just pick it out. Just remove it all on the shell for me. Prepare my portion. I don't like
Yeah.
that. Same thing with shrimp. This is why I don't like eating shrimp all that much. Shrimp with shell, okay, but deshell it for me before I eat it. Those are that's actually a lot of my
Mm.
even crab. Like I like crab, but am I gonna eat it Gonna am I gonna eat it like if you throw in some crab legs in a stew and I'll spend upwards of 20, 15 to 30 minutes just uh declawing and removing all the meat from the shells and before throwing it back in the pot. Like for everyone, I don't care. Oh, throw away the shells so good. I don't care. If you know I'm gonna eat it, I'm gonna remove all of it and save everyone an hour of wasting their time. So yeah,
Ah,
that's one of my pet peeves of food. And is that a habit of mine? Yes. Am I gonna do anything about it? No. I don't
I
care.
mean, I personally like picking through, the shellfish and like the bones and stuff like that.
I
But
don't.
I perfectly understand. Yeah, I perfectly understand people that like don't like doing that for
Also,
obvious
big
reasons.
slices of ginger. Ugh.
Well, those are
I
inevitable in
guess
life.
I guess what I'm saying is I like uniform texture in my food. I don't like a crunchy surprise and
You
a
you
burst
want
of
one
flavor.
big bowl of cream soup is,
Yeah.
is
I mean,
what you
I'll eat it with with bread, sure, but or like a splash of lemon, sure, but that
Mhm.
keeps the texture uniform. It's not a sudden crunch in my
Yeah,
soup.
I can understand that. I can.
What if it's a bug? Gross. Get out of here.
I don't think it's gonna. Oh, I'm not sure if it's gonna be a bug, but anyways.
You never know, man. What if that bone is suddenly like a dead bug or something? Thanks. I don't want this anymore.
Anyways, thank you, Toast, for your shout out and call out. Dark, what about you?
Um, I don't know. I think my shout out, yeah, my shout out is probably gonna be to Star Citizen again, because oh baby, it's fun. Um, I'm excited for the upcoming update. I think next month, either beginning of next month or late this month. I get my 2 ships, maybe 3. Who's counting? Um, but yeah, those the Ares series looks really cool because they're big old guns strapped to a ship. One of them's a fucking like rotating chain gun, and it looks awesome. So really looking forward to that. Joysticks I got are really cool. A lot of buttons on them. They even have a little. They have a really cool feature that where it's like there's the trigger, but then there's like another trigger at the edge of it that's like a metal piece that you can, if you flick it out, it counts as hitting a button. So like that's
Oh, okay.
button 1 is like flipping it out. And then if you pull it to the trigger, I think that counts as button 3. So it's like you leave it in the middle and then you can like flick it out. And I'm trying to get it to where like I flick that out and it activates my missile mode. And toggles that. I don't know if I'm going to be able to actually get that to function though. If not, I'll have to figure out some use for it. There's a lot of buttons. there's like 30, 31 or 32 per joystick. So there's a lot. Um, but yeah, that's gonna be cool once I get my table mounts, so I don't have to awkwardly have them on top of my table, of my desk. So like right now, I didn't realize exactly how unfucking usable that is, but it is. Unless you have like a really big desk, you kind of can't do that. And even then, they're like too high. But they're really well made. They're really weird put together. And Star Citizen didn't think it was grab me as hard as it did. But it seems like their updates are getting faster and faster. So, it's really
That's good.
ramping up, which is cool. Game's still probably not going to be out until like 2024, optimistically, but it's
But
counting.
they have all the money. They have all that
Listen,
money.
we got time. We've got nothing but time, buddy. But yeah, so Hey, I'm happy with what I've played so far. The event was really cool. Seeing 50 people come together to fight like NPCs and like do cargo runs and stuff, all leading up to like this big assault, was really cool. And you know, I think adding even just adding like more flavors of that, more onto events like that and stuff is like just a huge step forward in just like creating these like satisfying gameplay loops that, you know, even being in an alpha, it just feels like you're really playing something special.
Mhm.
You know, like something that you're really not going to get this combination of experiences like somewhere else. So
Right.
really
Yeah, just like
excited
a much more
to
open world kind of feeling. Well, not again
yeah,
feeling
it's just
completely
like a
like
lot
an
of like,
EVE
you know,
Online.
players coming together, stuff like that, and just
Yeah,
having a fun time doing.
yeah.
And can't wait to see more. Um,
Okay.
and yeah, and I think my call out's gonna be to, you know what, my call out's gonna be, as I'm playing it right now, to the Genshin subreddit, because I go there frequently to see takes that will just piss me off because of how fucking stupid they are. And they're on like the top of the subreddit. Where it's like every fucking character that comes out that isn't a fucking main DPS and like just busted, they're like, this character is awful. You know, they did it with Yoimiya, who is great by all accounts. And they did it with now they're doing it with Raiden Shogun Ball. Um, you know, Ball is not a one trick like a one fucking problem solver. What would you call that? Like a jack of all trades or like a one like fucking solution to all of your problems. Um, in fact, I don't think there are many. I don't even really think there are many characters in the game that are that just based on elements. Like, just doesn't really happen. You know, I think that there are some 4 stars and 5 stars that were way overtuned in the beginning of the game, like Venti, that really set people up to expect every single character to essentially be like, yeah, I'm a support DPS fucking healer, and it's like what? Like, so are you just supposed to run 4 of those? And it's like no, like these are characters that you're gonna have to build teams for. You're gonna have to build teams around. I've seen shit where I saw a comment that was like, you know, Ball is S tier because she's like a fucking battery for the rest of the team too, where she just like you ult with her and you do damage, and you do good damage with her, and then she also just, you know, snowballs into giving everyone else elemental bursts, on top of augmenting their damage too with an AoE. So like that's already insane. But then I saw a comment that was like, but she currently doesn't work with the top tier DPS in the game. And it's like, okay, but is she, but you're saying she's god tier with what she's doing. It's just that she doesn't work as well with the top tier DPSs of the game. So if you sub those out for people who she does work well with, does that just make your team incredibly strong anyway? Because this isn't a fucking game where you're only playing one character. Which I think is another thing that people seem to forget. Like,
Right.
have a team of characters. You are trying to build a team that functions together. So, I think a lot of people get lost in that, and you know, it's just interesting to see a. I don't think I've seen a subreddit in existence that misses more often than the Genshin subreddit. You know,
Well, I'm not too surprised. It's the Genshin subreddit.
Yeah,
But,
I mean they're literally they tried to
What are you
criticize
trying to say,
they
Spire?
tried to criticize the Chinese audience for complaining about Zhongli when it came out because his shields are already fucking busted anyway. And then they buffed him, and now he's insane, even more insane. But they complain about like they commented on that, but then it's like these new characters that come out, for all intents and purposes, for what they're supposed to do, they're fucking ridiculous. And then they're like, nah, but I think also they should be able to hold their own in DPS entirely. It's like, no. Like, absolutely not. Like, if these characters if they start doing that, then it's like, you literally will have it be that every single fucking team, like, it doesn't even matter anymore. You're just gonna have every single fucking character be completely homogenous, of like, all of their play styles are gonna be the same. Like, you're not gonna have to do anything different. So,
oh,
yeah,
wow.
fuck them.
Thank you, Dark, for your shout out and call out. And I guess last up is myself. My shout out is honestly to these fiber gummies that I've been eating for a decent amount now, and
You got GI problems?
I mean, it's not that I have GI problems necessarily, but I want to have a larger intake of fiber, so to keep myself from having days where I might, if I have a lower amount of fiber and I just eat some stuff that might not get through my tract properly, and so I can't go to the bathroom properly.
Bro, just take some horse dewormer,
Yeah, just
and then
dewormer solve everything.
and then nothing will stay in your intestinal tract.
Yeah, exactly. I'm just gonna poop out my entire like fucking colon. But so I do also have like what is it? Psyllium seed husks, which are also oftentimes like mixed into drinks and stuff like that.
You are
Well,
so
those are
disgusting.
yeah.
The
It's
heck
real.
are those?
Have you
Are those the
have
tiny
you have you
black
ever?
seeds?
It's not black. It's like they're like brownish. Have you actually tried eating or drinking them near? It's like they form this like weird. If you guys have ever had like miso soup before, and it's like it creates this like fuzzy layer on top. If you guys know what I
You're
mean,
Gross.
stop.
it's like imagine that, but like 10 times more gunky, and that is what psyllium husk is. And you have to swallow that to like actually like get
You
proper
could
fiber.
just not. You could just not eat that.
Yeah.
You know.
And also the worst part is it's not like that like a decent like even just like a fistful of psyllium hunk. It's like a good amount of fiber. It's like even just like a fistful, like even like a good fistful of psyllium hunk husk like stuff is like maybe 10 grams of fiber ish. So it's hard to drink. It's like eating the worst like Jello's gunk in the existence. It's like weird.
Is
So
it worth living if you're eating that just to feel
so I
better?
don't eat it. So I use fiber gummies instead. Unfortunately, I've kind
Why
of given
not?
up.
Spire, why don't you just eat it? What are you, a baby?
It's extremely difficult for me.
Just drink it.
But just drink it long.
Ugh.
But yeah, so
Why not put it in soup
so
or crust it on the steak or something?
I've tried a couple of methods. None of them were quite successful. But yeah, I just went back to fiber gummies and they've been working pretty fine for me. So shout outs to that. Call outs all then to this meat in that I've been having in the oven for like the past literally like 18 plus hours that I thought would be done a little bit quicker because it was smaller in size. It's not. So call outs to that. But other than that, again, the second call out, I guess, second week in a row, call out to fucking bad TLers. Like, it's really like the weird thing is, right? It's like the thing I don't understand about like these bad translators in the current like English scene is that on one hand, people are like, yo, just, machine translation just gives you the straight up words and it's pretty readable, right? And you can just kind of massage it a little bit and it all works. And no, it doesn't. But people are like, oh yeah, it just gives you the words anyways. It works. And then on the other hand, people are like trying to translate like, whoa, like fuck capitalism, bro, like into this stuff. Like if you translated if people are like, yeah, straight translation is good, just look at it's fine, just look at machine translation. Why are then people also translating shit in such a way that it's always like fuck capitalism, gamergate? Like you have to pick one or the other, right? If the audience likes just like straight talk, like what's translated, you can't be out here like translating shit like you're a gamergate nerd or whatever it is, and it's like so stupid. Like there was this in
Yeah, you
King.
can. It's called adaptation. No, what? Localization, buddy.
So in Kinkoi, for example, the visual novel that I was talking about with Toast just before we went into the reviews, I read a little bit of it before. I was just like, fuck it. I will literally re-download this game, but just the raw Japanese version, just to avoid like reading this translation because that's how like obnoxious it was. But I was going through Kinkoi and it was like there's a supporting character who later has her own route in the fandas. That's how fandas and stuff works nowadays. But there's a supporting character who always talks in a very like prim and proper like aristocratic like upstanding young lady kind of manner, like watashi arimasen wa Sazao and I kind of like Cesaro and I kind of like doing all this kind of stuff, right? Like using all these sort of like finer words. Um, I forget what one of them were, but I'm really bad with remembering examples. But so she speaks all these like finer words. She's an aristocrat, and then the translation has her speaking to the main character as plebeian. So the original word is ghetto, which means sort of like servant or like menial. But obviously, servant doesn't work as well. So that's a fine translation. So it's like calling them plebeian because that's a whole like aristocrat to like plain person kind of thing, and like talking down to them. That's a good translation. That's fine, even if it's not necessarily the direct meaning of the translation. That's a successful translation. Okay, so we've got this tone down, and then later on the way, she starts like saying like ain't that good or like she starts doing like contractions like isn't want didn't or like kind of gonna stuff like that. I'm just like, wait, what's going on though? She's always like 24/7, she's always in this aristocratic mode, and you emphasize that by using stuff like plebeian or whatever it is, but then later on you're just ditching the aristocratic speak. Like what's happening here? So this whole like you gotta come on, translate the fucking game. Yeah, so another call out on the mark for against bad translators.
Hold
So
on. Which one of you guys watched what's the egg show earlier? Which one you did the egg show?
oh, Wonder Egg, are you talking about Wonder Egg?
Yeah, which one of you did Wonder?
Wonder
Which
Egg,
one of you
Wonder
watched
Egg
Wonder
Priority,
Egg?
Dark
I
did
did,
Wonder Egg
yeah.
Priority. Yes.
Did you watch it in English?
No, why?
Here, let me gift you with a clip. Here you go.
It's already
So
bad.
here you go.
Already not good.
Are you sure it's all good?
Oh my god.
Bro.
Dark.
So,
I don't
bruh.
even know what that means.
But yeah,
No
a little
cap.
bit.
I
But
thought
yeah,
no cap was
so
supposed to be like no joke, but I thought it was
Yeah,
supposed to
no
be like
joke.
no kappa.
Is that really what it stands for?
No,
I don't
Jesus
know what it
Christ.
is.
No,
no.
it's a Twitch brain, so
Yeah.
why does it mean
So
no cap?
Like no caps lock? I don't know.
I
Wow.
don't know. I don't know. Okay,
Honestly, I always
let's not
thought
have this
this entire
discussion right
time I
now.
thought it was no cap as in like no KAPP. the fucking
No,
No cake, no
the other
cake, Kona.
kappa emote.
It's not
I don't
fucking
know.
Twitch speak. It's like it's
Like Twitter's
AAVE.
kind of
Like it's like
It's-
drip, you know? Like
I
Oh.
get drip. Is this like TikTok?
It's like social media, like Twitch kind of, or not Twitch, Twitter kind of language more than it is Twitter.
Twitter,
Twitter.
TikTok, gross. No thanks.
Anyways, that is not a discussion I want to have right now, but that's pretty much my shout out and call out. And with that, we are done with the episode. Again, thank you guys all for staying through with us throughout the summer for the summer 2021 reviews. After this, again, we're going to be doing a little bit of a roundtable discussion. We have a really good subject coming up, so please don't. You definitely don't want to miss
Is
this.
it
Honestly.
VTubers?
No.
I'm still
I'm
waiting
not
on
sure
the
if I would call
VTuber
it a
podcast
super.
fire. You can't avoid it any longer. VTubers
We
are
have to wait for
making
them
it
to be
anime.
over, though.
Yeah. But anyways, next next subject is a very very good one, so you definitely don't want to miss out on it. So check that one out, and then after that, we're gonna be going into previews and straight into the fall season after that. So yeah, that's our timeline. And if you like what we do, we stream our live recording of the podcast every other Saturday, starting from 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time over at twitch.tv/4PlayerAnimecast with a numeral 4, where we talk about the latest and greatest in Japanese animation related media, including anime, manga, light novels, web novels, visual novels, and so much more. So check us out here. You can look at our highlights of our podcast recordings in our Twitch highlights section, as well as on our YouTube channel as well. So you can pick whichever one you please. Check us up on our updates on our social media on Facebook, 4PlayerAnimecast, and on Twitter, handle at 4PPAnimecast. Again, all with the numeral 4. And yeah, until next time.